Well, hello and welcome to the Nerdy Up North podcast. Actually, it's a special podcast as we have getting together to do a very special episode on House of the Dragon. I totally forgot where I was there for a second. I didn't know which intro to do, what I was doing. But yeah, we gathered together to talk about the latest season of House of the Dragon. Oh God, it's been a day and it's really hot. As you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm joined by Lee and Jess again. Say hello, Lee and Jess.
Hello.
Hi.
Save me from myself, please.
You're doing fine. It's just a bit hot.
It's so hot. But the latest season of House of the Dragon has just finished. And we did say on the last one that we would get together and talk about this season. And after going through our group chat, I feel like we've got a lot to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of it good.
Some of it bad, but it's going to be honest. So I feel this is the perfect time to say the disclaimer and we can get into House of the Dragon. So everything discussed in today's episode is our opinions and our opinions alone. If you'd like to discuss anything from today's episode, please come and join us on the Facebook page, the Discord, or even the comments section where we can have an open discussion. But what we won't have, especially on this one, is anyone coming for us and telling us our opinions are wrong, because we can all agree to disagree in fandom. So let's keep it fun, keep it kind, and keep the toxic behaviour out of nerdism. Ta, very much.
Well said.
Oh, don't, because you'll confuse us, and I think I'm on a Sunday. Like, there's so many recordings that I do. Right. So the way that we're going to do it is we're literally going to go episode by episode. All in agreement? Say aye?
Yep.
Yeah.
Aye. So before the first episode starts, the end of series 1, we're left with the devastation of what's his... I can't even remember his name.
Was it Luke?
Yeah,
Nom,
just
nom,
got it
nom.
right. Num num nums. Yes. So we're left with the devastation of Luke's death and the beginning of civil war. Or
Well.
was it?
Well.
Well,
Because, Rhaenyra, your son's been eaten by a dragon. She's like, grrr, I'm going to get them after I've spent the whole of season 2 doing nothing.
oh, can I just get this out this right now? Get this. Did this feel like Daenerys sitting on her hands in Essos doing fuck all, waiting to go to the King's Landing? Did anyone else get that vibe from this series?
Absolutely. But it's not just her, it's everyone. Cole has spent the entire season building a ship.
Yes.
And it only just made it into the water at the end.
Yes. A
How
whole
long did it
season.
take to build that ship?
At least
That
with
ship
like
would be
Daenerys sitting around doing nothing, there's other stories being told from
Yeah.
all over Westeros. But for this, it's just like, she's doing nothing. Or there's Team Green doing a little bit of like political strategic movement, but not much.
Nope. Oh, let's get into it. First episode, A Son for a Son. Yeah. So the first instance, right. The first instance is we meet a character who I generally thought we were going to see more of, and we literally see him at the beginning, at the end. Cregan Stark. He is the first thing that you see in this episode is Cregan Stark.
Where the fuck are the Starks? We're gonna come down. We'll help yous. Where the fuck are they at? I'm sorry.
I don't
So
apologize.
I've got so many issues with this because it's like they should have gone the Game of Thrones logic. We should have had separate stories all running at the same time. Like Jay should have spent way longer, so you got the whole story of him like becoming a man while he's in the north.
Yeah.
Instead, we've got budget Ned Stark with his really, really bad Yorkshire accent.
Team you, Ed Stark.
This is the worst example of like a Northman. Where did they get this guy?
It was definitely Team You. Yeah. So we got Cregan Stark at the beginning, who literally promises an army. That is all we got from Cregan Stark.
Yeah, like I mean, people have travelled halfway across the country plenty of times since then.
Mm-hmm.
So where is he?
He was at the end, mate, walking, marching with the armies. That was where he was. He did, though, he did make reference to something that gets brought up, and it's probably my favorite story arc of the series and my favorite scene. And obviously, we'll get into that when we get to that episode. But it does make reference to there is something beyond the wall that you really should be more afraid of.
Yeah,
It
And
does.
it's a tiny hint, but it's there.
It also massively contradicts itself as well, which is really awkward.
The
Like,
dragons.
what he says sounds really cool. That they rode up, and even the dragons knew not to pass the wall. But apparently, Daenerys didn't get that memo. They just flew on over, just kind of like, "There's a what out there? What?
That is true.
Looks fine to us."
Do you not feel like they've a lot of this they've retconned quite a bit, or am I just, or like
Yeah.
they're not retconned but like corrected some things?
Especially the trying the best with the prince that was promised as Aura's Eye stuff.
Don't you pull faces? I've got stuff to say on that when we get to it. But they are.
It doesn't feel like it's working though. It's like it brings up stuff and it's just like really
I
you're
thought
gonna do
was
that?
for me. I felt like that was the best part of the writing in it was the fact that they keep bringing up the Azor Ahai, because that's all we fucking talked about in the beginning was the prince that was promised of Game of Thrones. That is.
The only reason I pull the face is just because of how wrong it went in Game of Thrones.
Right. That is
That's
totally understandable. Totally understandable.
Just never happened.
It's true. I mean, look at it. I mean, I don't like the guy, but Stannis, at least he had like, yeah, I get you, King Stannis. But yeah, at least he had some like conviction about him to be like, yeah, fuck me, I'm born of salt and smoke. I am the prince that was promised.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but then it just when Stannis went, that seemed to go along with it. They didn't. They had the dagger at the end. They had Jon, who clearly is the could potentially. I know what the series has done is kind of give you a hint that Daenerys, but it makes sense with Jon. If he is part Targaryen, part Star, he is literally a Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah.
And they had him standing behind a wall, hiding from a dragon, while it was all booting off of the Night's King. It makes no goddamn sense. They literally they saw every theory and went, "We'll fuck that off. We'll fuck that one off, and we'll fuck that one off too."
I tell you what, I find is more brutal when you're watching it through Now TV.
Mm-hmm.
Kit Harington pops up as an advert all the time, promoting a Game of Thrones mobile game.
No, is that what he's been reduced to?
You're like,
is that what the Eternals did to him?
Who's got his spin-off cancelled? It's like you can promote a mobile game.
Is that what the Eternals did to him? Bless him. I haven't seen him since. Oh gosh, he had this whole. He's going to be doing a spin-off with Jon Snow series taken away from him. His spin-off in Marvel taken away from him. He's having no luck as Jon Snow. He might as well just go back in his fucking cave. So we finally see Rhaenyra find it. Actually, she'd already found out at the end of the first series, but now it's like she's in her mourning phase.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Just standing on a cliff and roaming the beach.
She's just lost, man. To be honest, this is up until a certain point. The writing started to feel a bit lazy. This didn't. It kind of like give a really good depiction of grief, because what normally would you want to? You just want to be on your own, and she needs to figure it out, and she needs to know he's dead. There's no body. There's no nothing. There's no confirmation that her son's dead. Just of what's being said. And the scene on the beach when she finds Luke's stuff. Was this in this episode? Did this wrap all this up in this episode? Yeah.
Yeah, it happens in the first episode. There's a really great bit from Rhaenys where she's having to explain it to Daemon, because like, well, what's she doing? It's like, we're trying to sort stuff out and she's just disappeared on us. And she says, when Lena died, I got the message by a raven. It's like, until I saw her body, it didn't set in for me that she was gone. It's like she needs to do the same. She needs to physically see it.
Yeah, and then he does.
To terms of the fact that he's gone.
Yeah. And then he said that that brilliant line to her where he was like, "You could have stopped this all," and she was like, "Well, I would have if you were my king," kind of thing.
Oh, I love it.
That was pretty badass as well.
I'm sorry, but the MVP for this whole series goes to Rhaenys Targaryen.
Yes, 100%.
Completely.
100%.
Everything went fucking downhill after that episode. Actually,
Yeah.
my whole night went downhill after that episode. Cried for ages, but it was Syrax's scream when she found his stuff, and obviously I think Luke's dragon, that's Syrax's child or something, or mother or son.
I think it is. I'm sure I did read this before. I'm sure it is a case of, I think the boys' dragons are from a clutch that came from Cyrax. So as much
Right.
as Renee was seen in the death of, like, seeing what remains, so Cyrax at the same time seeing the remains of like one of her children.
Yeah.
Which
So
makes it more brutal
sad.
because Cyrax just looks like a little Labrador as well. Like, you're just like, oh no, don't make it sad.
Oh no. I'm trying to think what else happened in this episode. Because we've got the high towers. Otto, can't believe I really enjoyed Otto's performance.
I love Otto Hightower. I'm Team Green.
I
I'm
know
fully
you
Team
are.
Green now.
Now.
I wasn't in season 1. Season 1, I was fully black. This season is just... It's since the blood and cheese incident.
Christ, that's next. Oh God, I forgot about that.
That was in this episode as well, wasn't it?
Was it this one?
Yeah.
Was it this one?
Blood and Cheese was the first episode in.
Oh, good God. I have actually tried to scratch that from my memory. Yeah. Okay, shall we just do it and get it out the way away?
There's other bits beforehand.
Oh, okay. Go on and lead us up
the
to
only
it.
one I've got notes for. It's the only one I managed to write anything down for. The rest I'm winging it. It's wild because there is things like when it first cuts back to King's Landing, you see that obviously they're all armored up now. They know what they've done, and they know that Rhaenyra's going to be making a move. So they have the whole city defenses and stuff, and they all start freaking out. It's like, there's a dragon. It's like, it's cool. It's just Vhagar. Vhagar's just coming back. But the city defenses have never changed.
No.
Which is wild. It's like, it's been like 140 years and no one thought to upgrade anything. It's like, it's still the bare basics. Like, there is no progression.
How many people has walked into King's Landing and out of King's Landing, and you know, messages being spread amongst King's Landing, and fuck all was done about it? I feel the security is very lacking in King's Landing.
I mean, the fact that in this episode, Daemon just walks into King's Landing and goes up to a guard and he's like, "Oh, hi mate, how are you doing?"
But they are still very loyal to him. Like, look at how they were in the first series. They were his men, and they pledged a vow, and you know, some honorable knights, unlike some, you know, keep vows. And Damon obviously has a hand in things, but I'm trying to remember what happened with Alicent. Does she try and, because Alicent's arc in this series been weird, really weird. Does she try to convince Otto to not go into all out war?
Yeah, she's like says to be gentle about it or something like that. Jessica.
There is a bit where she mentions that what if they apologise? One's like, what, for a dead son? And then she's at him and just kind of like, don't look at me. Him. This is him. He did this. There's a lot of, in the first episode between her and Otto, this back and forth that they've got a greater plan, but do they have the same plan? In them ruling instead of Aegon.
Yes.
I think there is a direct line where they start talking, and Otto actually says, she's like, are you against me? And it's like, well, I don't know. Are we on the same level here? It's like, well, the level is we rule. It's like, well, if we're on that level, we're good.
Yeah.
Anything else?
They seem to concentrate on one of the boys and not as much on the other, who is actually the problem, who does need taming and controlling. and I really feel that that's their two's downfall. Is Aegon?
Not just that. They need to listen to Helena as well.
Oh gosh,
She's
we will get
literally
into.
telling them like, "Oh, this is gonna happen."
We will get into Helena. She has been such an. She is probably the most interesting character in this whole thing, and I love the fact that Rhaenyra knows how much of a sweet girl she is. She knows it, out of any one of them, she knows exactly where Helena stands.
Yeah,
because she doesn't change, and it's probably, and I don't even want to make it a testament to Alicent, because that Alicent, her boys are a result of how Alicent actually is. I don't know how Helena has turned out the way that she has.
I think
she's a crap mom. Like,
I know there is a bit in
Tyrion's?
season 1. Alicent says to Helena she never knew how to handle her. Like she was always a difficult child and a strange child. Like she's tried to do her best with her, but can't really understand her. But I know that's all based on because they've designed Helena to be a dreamer, and they don't understand them. The Greens haven't got a clue about Targaryen history, really.
No, they don't.
They
And
don't understand that there's a dreamer amongst them, and the boys have never been taught properly what that is.
Yeah,
Viserys
and
a dad.
but that's the difference between the Greens and the Blacks. So the Greens don't have any clue, like you say, but Rhaenyra possibly doesn't know. But that's what she does throughout the whole series, is read through her history, which was exactly what we got all series. Is her reading through her history. Because is it when, so there's loads of little moments in the scene with Alicent and Helena where the foreshadowing of what is about to happen is gonna happen. Something a lot. What does Helena actually say in that? Something, because she mutters something.
Aegon comes in to ask where Jaehaerys is, because he wants to take him to the small council with him.
He's made such a point, hasn't he, about how Jaehaerys is his heir and he needs to be among things. What have you remembered?
She tells him not to disturb him. He's in the library. And then he kind of just gets in her face of just kind of like, where is he? Like, I haven't got time for this. And she then turns to him and she's like, I'm afraid. And he's like, well, what are you afraid of? It's like, the rats. And he's looking around and he's like, all the handmaids are looking. It's like, there are no rats. And it's like, she's a funny one, isn't she? And just sort of leaves. But obviously it's the foreshadowing, she knew what was coming.
There was also the cradle as well. They were putting the head of the cradle on Jaehaerys's bed back on. So yeah, a lot of foreshadowing in that episode. And she mutters something as Aegon walks in as well. And I can't remember what it was. I remember saying it to someone. Did you hear what she said? But I can't remember what she actually said. And Daemon does manage to sneak his way into King's Landing. We're gonna have to talk about it. It's gonna have to happen.
Like, that small council meeting's great as well. Yeah. With the kids and Aegon just reducing a Lannister to a child's plaything. That's so embarrassing, especially knowing the standing of the Lannisters in the future. Yes. Becoming as powerful as they do.
Yes. It really fucked me off as a proud
over the ball, and it's like, it's such a thing.
It doesn't mean anything.
The kid of that age, like, just get off it, like, stop touching it, like, it's mine, not yours. Like, leave it alone.
I tell you what, mind. Go on.
I was gonna say, just imagine that small council meeting having that happen, but remove that Lannister and putting Tywin in that place.
Like, put his brother.
Would be standing for it.
No, that kid would probably be killed in another different way. But yeah, but no, put his brother. What's his name? Oh gosh, Thailand. Is a twin, and you actually get to see his identical twin brother, who is the complete fucking. He is a Lannister. He is very much like a descendant when he's not. Tywin would be a descendant.
So we had him in the first season. He's the guy at Aegon's name day that offers himself to Rhaenyra and says,
yes,
he has Casterly Rock. They can raise dragons. He's like, why have you got dragons? Like, because you ain't getting mine.
Yes.
And then it's the other brother is the one on the council. So the one we've come back to is the guy from season 1.
That makes so much sense. Because I didn't know. I must have missed something, missed the memo that's actually they're identical twin brothers. One's got because I was thinking that's not the same person that we saw in season 1. He was a dick, and then it really isn't the same person. It is a completely different person. I hated that scene. As a proud Lannister lion, I hated watching a Lannister being reduced to that. Dickheads.
It's horrible.
It was fun though. It was fun because that ball means nothing, absolutely nothing, and he made such a big deal about the fact that this kid was touching it.
Just wait until the next part where we get to talk about twins as well. That's going to be fun.
Oh God, if I don't cry through that, it'll be a fucking miracle. Yeah. So Daemon meets up with one of his old mates and is like, "Hey, kind of need you to take," because it's Aemond. That's who they're going for. That's who he initially says. But we don't hear what Daemon says afterwards to like, well, if I don't find Daemon, what then? We don't hear Daemon's reply. So we generally don't know what that message is that eventually gets to the rat catcher and the big guy.
Because you get, again, like season 1 about the whole, Otto says he called Bail on air for a day, but you never heard him actually say it.
Yeah.
So it's one of those where with Daemon, there's always stuff that's left open of like, you kind of know he would, but did he?
But did he?
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think he would have gave this order for what happens?
I don't.
No.
If it's Daemon at the end of season 2, I'm saying definitely no, because he's a changed man at that point. But at the beginning, and it's anger, there's rage. You know, it's his stepson / nephew. No, stepson / what is he to him?
So I had to do this the other day with my partner because he was trying to work out the family trees of everyone. How does it work? He is definitely the stepson. Rhaenyra is his niece as well as his missus. So Luke maybe like nephew once removed, if that's a thing.
Possibly.
It's fucked up, so is what it is. She made it so difficult, didn't she, by marrying her uncle, who also she had fucking kids with him, and then she's had kids with Laris. Not Laris? Oh, good God, if she had kids with Laris Strong, that'd be weird. He's been interesting this series, mind. I've had a bit of a think about that character and his family as well. So we get to meet the infamous Blood and Cheese. Yeah.
Don't like it.
I don't like this. No. And they go looking for Aemond in Aemond's room, which you had seen him earlier talking to Crispy Cole about whatever them two were wagering against. I fucking hate that man.
They're planning the Battle of Rook's Rest.
That's right.
They're setting stuff up that like if you can coax them out and hide, it's it's the only time you actually see a freaking battle plan get put together, which is something that irks me about this series. Is like all the good stuff of Game of Thrones of the plans, the getting ready for war, actually seeing a blooming battle because we've not seen one yet. It's always like it's just happened.
It's just over there.
That really annoyed us. That.
But yeah, they are planning out like essentially like the proper strategy that they've now been following through the series. Him and Crispy Cole knew that like Aegon didn't have a clue. Otto is too false-sighted and things. They know what they need to do.
I don't blame them either, because if it was down to Otto, because let's be honest, it is Otto. Up until this point, he is literally running the show. If it's up to him, he would drag this out as long as he possibly could. At least Aemon and Crispy Cole know that the inevitable is going to happen, and this is the room that they Blood and Cheese walk into, and the map and their war pieces that they were using that looked like to be solid gold.
Like they were gold. Using coins of the two opposing types, because I know there's a bit of think it's in the next episode, but there's a bit where Aemon picks one up and he like holds it where his eye would be looking at it, kind of like what
he knows
happened.
someone. He knew someone had been in there because things had been moved, and they took them. He's not there. So, do they have a conversation where it's like, I can't remember how they get to Helena and make that decision. I cannot remember.
There's a whole thing like the get in. It's supposed to be the Ratcatcher Cheese is supposed to know his way around. And when he
right.
actually
That's why he
gets
was
in,
hired.
He's never gotten up that high before in like the royal sort of area of things. So he doesn't actually know which room to go to. And Bloodstock kicks. I was like, well, that's what you're here for.
Yeah.
So they start going room to room until I think there is a point the only room they come across someone is unfortunately through Helena.
Helena with her two babies, Jaehaerys and
Jaheira.
God, they are terrible with names. I know we said this the last time we got together.
Aegon's just busy having a piss up downstairs with all of his mates as well.
Oh, he's fucking cronies. Yeah. Oh, good God, I hate them people. But yeah, it's gonna happen, isn't it? Does she get? So I know it's very different, and this really upset a lot of book readers. And I know we said we weren't going to go into book and thingy, but there is a big difference in how this is executed to how it was executed in the book, because she was made to choose.
It's way worse than that. There's so much more.
Yeah, so she was in.
Really upset me after the episode aired, and people were whinging that it wasn't done exactly like the book. And I'm like, you've got to be a special kind of person to want to see that on screen. It's like you don't want to see that on screen.
No, you really don't. In the book, Helena is given a choice, and she chooses, and they kill the opposite baby, and they remind that child, well, they weren't babies, they were quite a bit older, and they remind the child, your mother picked you, and that possibly kills Helena more than the death of our child. But in this one, it was done very differently.
Yeah, I mean, it's because they haven't. Maelor's not in the series.
No.
And I really hope they're not going to suddenly pop Maelor in, because much later on, what happens to Maelor is so much worse. Like, it's awful.
Yeah.
I read ahead because like we were trying to work out it's actually whatever happened to that one. Then it's like, oh, that happened.
Yeah, because she had in the book, there's 3 babies in the room. Like there's 3 of our children in the room. Yeah. But in this one, they go for the boy. So glad we didn't get to see anything. Not gonna lie. The noises were bad enough.
I was horrible. That traumatized me. Them noises.
It was the fact that the last who's she who plays Helena? What's her name? I can't say it actually. Is it Phia Sabin? Phia? I don't know how to pronounce that. Just call her Helena. Yeah, the actress who plays her. Oh, in that moment, the silence, because everyone was saying, why didn't she scream out? And it's like, because she's in shock. She's terrified. She's in shock. What would you do? Like quite literally, what would you do? Because it wouldn't be.
Like, literally, my heart is racing here, like thinking about this, because obviously I have identical twins.
You do.
I've got identical twin girls, and obviously they're either it's a boy and a girl. Like they wouldn't really be identical, but they're shown to be so identical to each other. You wouldn't be able to tell who was who. But that logic of like having to pick which one, and hoping that's all they're going to do is just take one, not both. Even the conversation that's had where like the and ahhing whether she's telling the truth or not, of like, is it that one or the other one, and the pondering between each other until I think she's the rat catcher is like, no, she's telling the truth, that's legit, like that's the boy that she's pointing at.
Oh God. Yeah, and Helena does probably the only thing that she knows to do is she picks up the living child and she runs for it. And she runs into the bedroom of her mother, who is banging Crispy Cole.
Dirty bastards.
Hypocritical bastards is what you find out in this first episode, is the fact that them two have absolutely hated Rhaenyra Targaryen for all of the shit that she's done between the two of them, and they're no fucking different. They're no fucking better than what she is. Hypocritical dirty gets.
So there is something, the run that Helena does when she's got hold of Jaheira. There was a slight moment I thought she was actually going to suffocate her, how tight she was holding when she was running. You can hear the kid is like whimpering. But she makes the run that Rhaenyra had to, the walk Rhaenyra did when she had Joffrey.
Oh, that's right.
She takes the exact same path, like, but obviously she pelts it down the stairs and stuff to get to Alicent. It's a weird mirror scene of like kind of what she put Rhaenyra through.
Now look at what
kind
her
of
daughter's
the other way around.
Yeah. So that episode ends and we go into the next one, which is Rhaenyra the Cruel. And the Greens, oh, good God, what were they thinking? They are going to use the death of Jaehaerys to basically propaganda that Rhaenyra is a bitch. A big, massive bitch. And they're going to spread
a good plan. They shouldn't have done it because it's like distasteful, but it worked.
Yeah, and this is where Otto makes the suggestion that maybe we should have a public funeral. Maybe we shouldn't, is what I'm going to just put out there. Not the way that you did it anyway. My God, I have never felt so nervous watching that scene.
I think everyone had the same thing. Thought when it, like, the cart stopped, like his head was going to roll off.
Yeah. I just thought that kid's head's not staying on his shoulders, is it? They didn't even put a cloth over it. They literally showed, and it is a point that they were making, was that this is what your supposed queen would do. She would murder a baby. And they don't even bring up the fact that her kid got killed either. It is very much a slander, trait of the Greens to bring Rhaenyra's name to hurt her, basically. When from Rhaenyra's side, she's absolutely devastated by this news. Especially for the fact that it was Helena.
Like, round the table moment when it's brought to them, like what's being said and what's happened. Just like, we wouldn't have done that. We wouldn't have done that. And it's just Rhaenyra's just looking at Daemon like.
And it's when Rhaenyra turns around and like literally goes, "Oh, you didn't."
No, like, fuck's sake, Daemon.
Oh, you didn't. She knew. She knew instantly. The minute Rhaenys gives looks, the minute the table falls silent, Rhaenyra knew Daemon had something to do with it. Yeah, like, what's over there? Oh, a dragon. So yeah, Rhaenyra is like, this is where Mommy and Daddy have a huge falling out. And she asks the question, which she's probably been meaning to ask for a long time, is, do you see me as your queen? Really long pause in his reply.
Yeah.
He doesn't. And this is Daemon's whole arc throughout this series, is that he doesn't see Rhaenyra as his queen because she stole the crown from him. In Daemon's eyes, he believes that he should have been, and to be honest, it probably would have made more sense if it was Daemon because of the whole meal thing, but that's not where he was where Viserys was going. And
I don't even think Daemon saw his brother as king.
Probably
he
didn't
do anything he told him to.
No, I think really, like, I think I've seen some stuff about people's views on it, of like, oh, Daemon doesn't care for anyone or anything like that. I don't think that's true. I think there is certain characters. I think he did care for Viserys, but knew that he was weak.
Yeah.
And something like this would happen eventually. Like, it was going to go wrong and he was not the man to fix it. But Daemon is very pig-headed, who thinks he can fix anything.
Yeah. And
he just messes it all up.
And because Viserys is such a kind-natured person, I feel like Daemon felt like he had to step up and be the cruel one and make the hard decisions. And it probably has happened in the past where he has had to make hard decisions because Viserys wouldn't, but he's carried that his whole entire life. It gets broken down so much in this series. But for now, Daemon's like, all right, I'm going to go and take Harrenhal because that seems sensible. Let's go and he's going to go and do that. He flies off on I want to get this right. Caraxes. Well, what was it? Caraxes. Yeah. Am I saying that right? Okay. And then we see Crispy Cole being a dick to one of the twins. Right. I'm going to get this right. Oh, yes. The twin who is with the greens is don't tell us. Arik.
Yes.
The twin who is with Rhaenyra is Eric. Yes. Okay. So Crispy Cole has a conversation with Arik where he pretty much blames him for the whole thing. Pretty much like, you did this. This is your fault. And it's when he finally stands up for himself and goes, because he's berating him saying, where were you? And he's like, well, where were you? And that's what gets Crispy Cole up in arms. And it's like, right, well, you're going to go and repay us by getting onto Dragonstone and pretending to be your brother and take the bitch queen out. End the war. Do your duty. And as he is honorable as his brother is, he actually does it.
They're such good people as well, man.
Such good people. They really are. Especially their ending. It proved their character. It proved their relationship, their love for each other. Because it was still very strong. Because of what happened at the end wouldn't have happened if it wasn't. And this is where we also get, what's her name? The one who ends up counseling Mysaria?
Yeah, Mysaria. Yeah.
Mysaria, who Rhaenyra has kind of, so she was held captive by Rhaenyra to where Rhaenyra finally met the White Worm, that's it, where Rhaenyra finally talked to her and was like, oh, maybe I can use her as an advantage. Maybe not. Where does she send her?
They've very much done with her this season that she's kind of turned into why is his name escaping me?
Nettles.
No, Game of Thrones bald guy. Master of Whispers.
Varys.
Yeah, Varys.
You know, I kept going Laris. I was like, it's not Laris.
Very
Game
different
of Thrones
person.
names. But it's the same sort of thing, because obviously her wording is, she was like, you stuck to your word, you let me go.
Mm-hmm.
And now actually maybe you're the decent person. Like one of those are kind of like, I work in the rights to the people.
Yeah, she is very much. Yeah, she's like the union member, isn't she? She is the people's people. But in this instance, on this occasion, is when she's in prison, and Rhaenyra lets her go because this is her going away, leaving Dragonstone, and noticing the other twin walking up. What she did with that information, I'm not 100% sure.
She does say she told the guards, but they didn't listen. Right. Because Rhaenyra says it's like, you did come and tell them. Like, I know that you like kind of sent the word out.
Yeah, that's right.
When she didn't really need to, she could have just left. Being like, well, that's their problem.
And that's where the kind
told Eric, if anyone, because Eric's the one that runs in, and maybe she saw Eric and was like, "Oh shit, I better go and check something," and ran to find Eric to see if he was still at his post or whatever.
Well,
I think it's meant because she is that, like, with it being the White Worm, she knows everything. So she'll have seen those twins for a long time and very quickly gone, like, there'll have been something daft, like a mannerism would have been wrong of just kind of like that. Hang on a second, that's not Eric. That's the other one. It's exactly what Otto and them would have done. Have utilized something like that. She knows them all way too well.
Plus, he didn't even acknowledge it as he walked past her. And considering he was with Rhaenyra to let her go.
That's true.
Like, he should have at least went, all right, safe journeys, have a nice time, or whatever.
Ta-ta now. See you later. So Eric bursts into Rhaenyra's chambers, who, if anyone did notice, costume-wise, Rhaenyra is wearing blue, which is for her Tully roots. Which I thought was it Tully? Am I right?
Yes, because she sends some there, doesn't she?
Aaron. She's Aaron.
Aaron.
Emma was Emma Aaron, not
That's
Emma
right.
Targaryen.
That's
Sorry.
right. No, thank you. I was like, I know there was some significance to the dress, but I was like, I can't remember if it's Tully or they're around the same areas. They live in the same
Aaron
places.
still used blue quite a lot as well, and most of their costuming was done in blues.
Oh, I wasn't far off. Same area. Yeah, so Eric busts in the room, which confuses the life out of, because these brothers, like, they are ridiculously, like, the fact that they look exactly the same. I know they're identical twins. I know that is such a stupid statement to say, but with some twins, you can see. I want to use this one as an example. Nikki and Brie Bella, identical twins. I can definitely tell who's who, though.
Yes.
I can't with them two. They were so, and one of them started out in, well, actually, they both started out in Shameless because they were young actors, and young actors, they do tend to ask for identical twins so they can swap and change them out. They actually did this in, sorry, I know I said I wasn't bringing any facts, but I know they did this in this series as well, because one of them got really sick with COVID, so they just brought the other one in to film his scenes. So quite useful for them. But this fight, because obviously Eric walks in and it just boots off. It just epically boots right off. This was a fight of all fights. This was not cat scratches or hair pulling. This was brutal. And they mirrored each other so much in this fight. Like,
it's surprising how easily they went at it, though. Like, to serve in honor of each side, and not like, neither of them held back at all to be like, oh shit, this is my brother who I love. Yeah. They just went all out.
This has been a problem with this season, is that the first 4 episodes are massively rushed. They're just jumping through plot
so
points.
much happening.
They stop dead from episode 4 onwards. But the issue is with the twins, it's like, because they didn't really spend a lot of time with the twins.
No.
So you don't get all their backstory of like, they are completely like those devout guys of like, we are Kingsguard. This is what we are. We will always be. They're so honorable, the pair of them. So since being on the opposing sides, it's hard because obviously you have to fight your own brother, but you'd go against your loyalties if you didn't. And they are so devoutly loyal to their end.
There was a lot of
end.
Oh, absolutely. There was a lot of mirroring in the fight. So if one hurt one in one place, the other would hurt the other in the same place the next time. It was so beautifully choreographed, that fight scene, to watch them, because they know each other's tactics. So they know, it's almost like they're just fighting a mirror. It was seamless and beautiful. And Eric gets the upper hand on Eric and kills his brother. And when he walks up to Rhaenyra, and I can't remember what he says, something like "my queen" or something, and he apologizes, and he quite literally falls on his sword.
Yep,
he has to.
I know. I know.
There's no way she would be able to tell. Is this the real one?
Yeah.
And there'd always be that suspicion. Most honourable thing he can do in his mind is kill himself.
I think that's definitely the honor death, because obviously you take the guilt of that his brother did that. But I think it's probably an underlying thing as well of like, would you really want to continue living without your brother when they're that close of twins?
I know they were on opposite sides, but they knew they were still there. As long as they're there, then it's okay. But I think Lee's logic is really good with she would never know. She would never be able to trust. I didn't even think of that aspect of it. I just saw the brother side of it. But yeah, she would never know that. God, it's fucking horrible.
Like, no one's ever going to leave him alone with that. Just in case.
Nah, it ruins everything. You ruined everything. God damn it. So while this is, I don't know if this is before or after, but Aegon does find Blood and Cheese. That is such a horrible name, by the way, them two. It's just, it's horrible. I've heard it mentioned so many times before I actually saw this, and I was like, who the fuck came up with blood and cheese. Really. Yeah, so he finds them, and because he's fucking pissed. Like, he is so angry throughout this whole episode that he ends up taking it out on them by killing them, and then by killing all the rat catchers and hanging them outside of the castle walls.
Not the best move.
Not the greatest move, but this is also the moment where I not only felt sorry for Otto Hightower, but actually was like cheering for Otto Hightower. It's the conversation where Crispy Cole, Aegon, and Otto, where Otto basically lays it all out for him. Because I think Alicent has already done it to where, because he's crying his eyes out, and she's like, "You just need to be a puppet. You just need to. You need to shut the fuck up and just do as we tell you." And Otto confirms that all in this conversation where he's like, "Do you really think?" It's a very much a Tywin moment, when Tywin does the whole sends Joffrey to bed. Yeah. It's very much one of them moments, but he's actually telling him to his face, "You mean nothing. That crown is not yours." And I don't think it went. I don't think it went the way Otto intended, or did it? Because.
So, I mean, I find it really sad as well, because like I know they tried in the first episode to show that Aegon could have been decent.
Yeah.
Because when he holds the council, sorry, the court.
The court. He tried so hard.
Yeah. It's like, well, yeah, let's give them the money back. Yeah, let's give them the shit. Yeah, we can't do that. Like, oh, right.
Why not?
Sorry, guys.
It's his clueless mentality of, well, why not? Like, I'm king. I can grant these things. And Otto's like, no, the physicality of it all is an absolute no. Because nobody bothered to fucking coach him. No. Just like Joffrey in Game of Thrones, nobody bothered to coach these people on how to be kings. I mean, if Robert Baratheon's your father, do you really want to take his advice? I don't know. But nobody decided. They left him to his own thing and thought that they could run things from behind the scene, when in actual fact Aegon does have a voice and is trying to use it. But this whole scene where Otto just he's maniacally brilliant in it. I absolutely love it, but he is dismissed as Hand of the King. And it goes to the worst person ever fucking created in House of the Dragon. Crispy Cole.
It's been really, like, I think even just in the first two episodes, it's a really interesting arc with Aegon. Like, say, he could have been a decent king if he was allowed to. If it wasn't with everyone else wanting their own agendas. And by the time you get to the second episode, he takes his rage out and stuff like that, but again, it's that thing that he doesn't understand what he's just done is by hanging everyone in the streets. It's like, now the people will turn upon you. Now you're just like, I think Otto, when he's kicking off, he says like they're sons. They're people's family, and you've just got them swinging in the streets. Like, what are you doing?
We have just done this great campaign of making your sister look like an arsehole, and you've just gone and ruined that by hanging a bunch of rat catchers outside of the castle walls. You've ruined it.
Logic though. Like, he's just lost a son.
Yeah.
He's grieving, and he's in a position of power, which isn't the best thing. And he's gone out and just if he's going to kill all of them to get the one person, and
it's very much a Joffrey move. No, it's very much a Joffrey move, because Joffrey, how many heads did Joffrey have on spikes outside of the castle walls? I'm seeing a lot of comparisons between Joffrey and Aemond, but Aemond doesn't have that sadistic side to him, which is I'm grateful for.
The Greens don't have the luxury of to try and what am I saying? Sorry, the Greens don't have the luxury of like not having the eye on them all the time. Compared to the Blacks, like Rhaenyra's grievance is just standing around by herself.
Yeah.
Whereas the Greens have to like do all of this public stuff because they're still in power, and that's making it a lot harder for them. Like if you put like side by side Rhaenyra grieving over her child to Alicent and Helena in the middle of the town being grabbed by all the peasants, It's not fair.
It's
I
not.
love the acting skills of the actress who plays Helena and that whole thing when they're starting to clamber at the carriage.
Anxiety.
She has this, yeah, she can't breathe. She's doing anything she can to try and like claw her way up, and there's nowhere to go.
She
And it is
played that part perfectly.
I still hate how brutal Otto's line is, though, when he suggests it, where he's just like, right, we're going to do this. And Aegon's like, you're not parading my child like a dog. It's like, no, it's honourable. So, but you can't be seen to be there. We'll stick them two instead. They can watch them two cry and watch this. And like, he just has no kind of.
No,
he doesn't have a lot of morality, does Otto. Everything's like to a point, and that's it. What purpose does it serve?
He did have a moment where he did say, I love my grandson. I did generally love him. But we have a war happening at our doorstep right now. We can't slow down because of what's happened. We need to move forward. It may not be the best moment, but at least he acknowledged the fact that it was his grandson that got killed. It's a lot. It's more than what he's ever done. He won't even. The way he calls Alicent daughter really like knocks me. Is this the moment where Otto leaves? Is this the conversation between him and Alicent where she goes to go and tell him, where she's like, I have sinned, and he's going, I don't care.
I'm like, I don't want to hear about you and Crispy Cole. Keep that to yourself. Like...
Oh. It was a very touching. If that scene wasn't here, it must be because we don't see Otto at all after he leaves, after he's been dismissed from King's Landing.
Yeah, because his final conversation is that he's going to go to Old Town, and essentially he's going to twist up Daeron now. Like, he's failed at getting control of the other two boys, but he could get control of Daeron. And Alicent's wording is, don't go to Old Town, go to High Garden, go to the army. We'll set up there instead. Because I think there is a consciousness, again, yeah, very much like how it was in Game of Thrones with the Lannisters, where Cersei, like, loses it at Tywin. It's like when the Tommen comes into power, it's like you will tear him apart for your own agendas. But he's a sweet boy, like just leave him alone. I think that is kind of the thing with Daeron. Like,
she did the same with Joffrey. No, and well, we know he doesn't. But we'll get there.
I forgot you don't get to see Otto for like the next 6 episodes or 5 episodes, which annoys us because they kept Matt Smith on. And they didn't need to show Matt Smith in every single episode.
That's true, they didn't.
I think because he's a big name, I think they've just wanted to keep him in there. But Rhys Ifans a big name as well.
He's huge. Throughout any of them in that series, he is massive. He's a huge name. There should have been
some, like, some bits with him.
But it was when Aemond later on goes, bring me back Otto Hightower, and I was like, yes, let's do that. And then he just, I'm like, what? I know I'm jumping way ahead, but when I saw him at the end, I was like, oh shit, bitch, what are you doing in there? The next episode is the Burning Mill. This really confused the ever-living life out of me, the beginning of this, because I don't know where they fit into the story, but the Brackens and the Blackwoods?
Ah, yes.
Does someone want to care to explain?
The Brackens and the Blackwoods, are they not the ones that petitioned for Rhaenyra's hand? And it was the small boy. They are
the fights at Storm's End with the little lad who just guts him.
Yeah.
right.
I don't know if that's what started it or not. But they might have been fighting before that.
I think with them though, it's like it's so old of a story that I think it's even to the point that they don't quite remember why they hate each other so much, but they just do. And they live like literally next to each other. That's what the fight kicks off, because it's just one stone is moved and it's like, what are you doing with that stone? It's like, you can go like an inch that way. It can't. Like, put it back. That side's yours, this side's ours. It's meant to be this archaic logic between them that they just have pure hatred for each other.
I just didn't know where they fit into all this, but obviously it comes clear later on. This is where Rhaenys tells Rhaenyra that Alicent could be convinced to, and reasoned with. I do love that scene, and I know we'll get to it in a second, but I do love that scene for so many reasons. Kristen Cole or Crispy Cole does decide that they should really take Harrenhal. Unfortunately, Daemon got there first, and Daemon has set up camp there and kind of claimed himself king of Harrenhal at this point. Like, I
have to say, so Simon Strong is he's my favorite character of the season.
He was phenomenal.
What's he called again?
Simon
Strong. Oh, he's so good, man.
He is the family of
Larys.
The creepy guy at King's Landing who kind of comes. I'll get into him in a bit because I'll jump way ahead of myself and I don't want to. But yeah.
Can I jump back just a second?
Yeah, of course.
To the very beginning of this episode with the Blackwoods and the Brackens. This is the start of me getting pissed off for this season.
Oh, okay.
So they had like them squaring up at each other, and then it just skipped to a battlefield of dead bodies.
Yes.
And it was like, why didn't they show anything? This was a perfect chance to show some battle instead of just the little bits and pieces, like just two brothers fighting. And it's like, oh, great, I see you've spent all of the budget on dragons this season, so we can't have anything else nice.
Yeah. You can't have the nice stuff because you get the dragons. It's one or the other, Lee. Make your mind up. This is where the dreams start for Daemon. Is this where we see Daemon do what he does?
No, that's episode 5.
No, not in the first one.
Okay. No. Okay. But we do start seeing his dreams, where he does see a young Rhaenyra, which was lovely to see the original actress back again.
Yeah, Millie Alcock.
It was lovely.
So cool.
She was in his dreams sewing Jaharis's head back to his body.
Yeah.
Nice. He also does he meet Alice in this one? Gosh, she was an interesting
Alice
person.
pops up once in this episode. She gets one line. I think I screamed when she was actually shown on screen because she's one of my favorites in the story. What's really amazing, like before you even go to the dream scenes, him getting into Harrenhal, like the shots of him going down like the hallways and all the rain and the bats and stuff, and like every little noise, like he's ready just in case something comes around the corner.
The story,
it just looks beautiful.
It looks stunning. Harrenhal has such a story to it. We know some of it from Game of Thrones when Tywin and Arya are there. From what I remember, the Conqueror pretty much burnt it to the ground.
We need to see that at some point in a
Yes,
spin-off.
No. There is so much more to it because Harrenhal is meant to, like, the stone is meant to be like haunted. So
the original
in the stone and mortar?
The original guy who had Harrenhal during Aegon's conquest, this is the only place that kind of couldn't take other than Dawn. And the guy got really cocky about it. It's like, it's made out of stone, can't melt stone. What are you going to do? And the walls are too high, you can't come in from the front. And in that bit of the story, it's Aegon flies Balerion so high up that they can't even see him, and he descends so quickly, and the dragon is burning and burning, and the stone actually starts to melt, and it starts to go all weird shapes. They burn within it, and that's where it's like classed as being cursed.
That's right, not haunted, cursed.
Yeah, the building itself is cursed because of how many died within it, that their blood is in the stone now.
Alright, I wasn't sure if they mixed the blood in with the mortar or something, the people that built it. I don't know if
there's some theories because there is the whole the occultism around Harrenhal. But I think in Aegon's conquest it is described as just because of the way he killed them all.
Right.
All their blood would have just seeped into the stones. He pretty much just melted everyone inside the building. But Harrenhal never stood properly ever again afterwards. It was always dilapidated from that point because it was too big to rebuild.
I love the fact that they kind of kept the same but the same look as what you do see with Tywin. Obviously, time has taken a toll on Harrenhal, but there's still some remnants of what you saw in House of the Dragon to what you see with. I love them scenes in Harrenhal with Tywin and Arya. Is some of my favorite moments.
Mine as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Best friend Ian White.
Besties over there. It's Lee has now become Ian White's personal biographer. He wants to know what he's been in. Lee will tell you. We've got Daemon in Harrenhal. Rhaenyra is now sending. Gosh, how do you say her name? Rhaenyra is sending Rhaenys, the youngest daughter of Daemon.
Rhaena.
Rhaena. We're gonna say Rhaena. Yes. It's the one I really struggled with. I've learned names for this episode because the last one I couldn't say them for shit. Decides to send her with the rest of her young children off to the Arryns along with 3 dragon eggs. A lot of controversy over the 3 dragon eggs because everyone assumed that they were Daenerys's dragon eggs. Are they?
I'm pretty sure one of the creators went, is we put that in purposely and obviously for deep dive logic, it shouldn't be.
No. I'm going to say no.
Just from there.
No. She wasn't happy with it though. She was expecting fully fledged dragons. There's a fucking war going on, Pet. Why would we send a dragon to protect you? We need them.
Oh, I do love that conversation when she gets there and she explains as to why. And again, it goes back to Aegon's conquest of how that's the only way they were able to take the Vale was Visenya descending upon them with the dragon and landing on the top of it because you couldn't go through the bloody gate or anything like that to enter the Vale.
Yeah.
But he had a dragon.
Yeah.
The Vale is kind of screwed. And I reiterating that. It's it's fine, but now there are dragons back in play. It's we need one because that's our only weakness in this place.
There's a lot going wrong for Rhaenyra at this point right now, and I feel like this is the smartest move that she made was to send the kids away with dragon eggs. That I do not like the fact that Jess is pulling that face. That in my opinion, how I'm looking at it from that scene is to send the young kids away with the dragon eggs. If anything happens to me, there is still a Targaryen with dragons far out the way. The logic makes sense.
Yeah.
The execution, on the other hand, especially with the little, what's her name? Rhaenyra? No, Rhaena.
Because you got Rhaena and Baela. They love this with
Rhaena and Baela. There we go.
With someone else's name.
I'm not even attempting to get involved in that. I don't know.
Rhaena. I am so intrigued by Rhaena by the end of this series. But I fell very hard for Baela in this series as well. It's just a shame we only got that one tiny little moment with that, and then the rest of it's where did she go?
Is Baela the one chasing Sheep Stealer?
No, that's Rhaena.
Right. See, I should stay out of this because I don't know.
Rhaena, I mean, that happens later on, but it is Rhaena who runs off. She runs away from the party because to Rhaena, she feels like she's been set aside. She's not Baela. She's not a dragon rider. She's, she feels useless. So with the whole thing later on is that this is her chance. You've got to remember, this is the daughter of Daemon Targaryen. We seem to forget that. And I feel like a lot of people seem to overlook her because of her young, but they don't with Jace.
She's just for a character, she's had the worst ride out of everyone. Yeah. Because there's going right back to when you see her, when Lena is still alive and she sat at the fire with her dragon eggs. She's look, some of them just don't hatch.
Yeah.
You can sit with it as long as you want, but it's probably not gonna hatch. And then when at Pentos they're talking about keeping them, she's would they keep me? Because I don't have a dragon. They want you with dragons. He loses out on Vhagar.
Yeah.
She's that's my mother's dragon. It should have been mine. And then even to this point, brutally is when Rhaenyra's kind of right, so you're going to drop Joffrey off at the Vale, cut the dragons, then you're going to take my 2 kids and raise them and look after them for me. And I'm going to go back to penthouse where it's like, and she's essentially like, so where my mother died, that's where you're sending me back to go and live back there.
Yeah.
You can live through that childhood trauma.
Ask a lot of. I understand Rhaenyra's position, but they do ask a lot of this child, who again is the daughter of Daemon Targaryen. I just don't understand why that does not hold any gravitas for anyone. It's like them two just don't exist when it comes to the children of, this incredible swordsman and, King Console, because that's what he is. He's not the king, he's the is it the console? Am I saying that right?
King Consort.
Consort. Sorry. We also meet Ulf in this episode.
Who, Ulf?
Ulf. Well, what an interesting...
Ulf's the one in the pub saying that he was a Targaryen in the tavern.
Yeah. And he is, well, kind of. Nothing's confirmed, but obviously the confirmation comes with what happens later on. But yeah, Ulf's boasting about the fact that he is the bastard half-brother of Viserys and Daemon, but it doesn't mention his sister, which really upset us, but never mind. So yeah, he's boasting about that, and he literally has lived off that story for however long. People buy him, people believe him. He's got very dirty silver hair, and people believe his bullshit. And as you find out later, he has literally lived off of that. But he's a character who, like, as in he's a character, like, he's a bit of a cheeky Charlie, bit of a dick later on, like, but cheeky Charlie. So yeah, we've met him. Rhaenyra makes Mysaria her advisor.
Yes.
And Aegon makes Larys his master of whispers.
Well-deserved title for him, though.
Really?
Yeah, I think Larys is a good master of whispers. Not as good as the White Worm. I can't remember her name.
Mysaria. I think that's how you say it.
I think with this season, it's been that thing with Larys as well, where he's kind of lost his hold on Alicent, since now she's getting a rocks off for Crispy Cole. So he moves to Aegon, like, he can get his claws into Aegon instead to keep his position, and he's just like the precursor to Peter Baelish, essentially.
He is.
It's all to his own ends. Like, he has his own plan of how he wants this to all work out. He doesn't want to get too in depth, but he can work it from behind, essentially.
Yeah, it's very much a little finger move, but I feel like there was some genuine feeling towards the end with Larys. Whether or not that's going to blow up in my face later on, but it does feel like there's some genuine concern from him. So Baela goes, we see Baela finally on Moondancer for the first time, flying about looking like badass that she is. Her fucking costume this season is just looked amazing. She looks like a warrior, a true Targaryen warrior.
I love it because they've got her looking so much like Laena as well, like the way that they've gone with the design work, like for her, like the hair and the costume and everything, like a proper embodying her mother being like a true dragon rider.
Yeah. And she sees Crispy Cole on the way to Harrenhal. So the message has been sent that he's on his way there. This is where Rhaenyra sneaks into King's Landing.
I was waiting for this. Stupid. All the time it's like, well, it's like all the time they're going, no, you can't do anything because we don't want to put you in danger. And then it's like, just sneaks into King's Landing with like a handful of people with her.
One person.
The most dangerous place to go. It's just one with her.
One person. It was Tony from Shameless. Can't remember what his character name is, but I just kept going, Tony, look at you.
Getting back to Baela though, like this bit, like, it just creases us when they're all stood around the war table. She's like, it's Kristen Cole, like they're moving. It's like, yeah, but how do you know? It's like, I know. It's like, I thought I told you not to engage. Well, I didn't.
I observed and I came back.
They're kind of like, I couldn't, but I would have.
Rhaenyra's council is so bunch of fucking wet wipes. It's unreal. I love the fact at one point Rhaenyra actually mentions to them, you've only ever known peace in your lifetime. You don't. We are all new at this. Do not act like you know more than me. Oh yeah.
She proper cracks one of them, and just like, get out. I am your queen.
The thing is, I would be
back in your place.
They really are. They're trying to do what Alicent and Otto have been doing their entire time with Aegon being on the throne. Or even when Viserys, they did it with Viserys as well. They were controlling everything while he was still alive. Well, you know, barely alive. And they're trying to do the same to her. The only problem is Rhaenyra don't work that way. She cannot be controlled. If you look at her childhood, she could never be controlled. She always did what she wanted to do. And they are very much trying to put her. They're trying to put her in a place, and she's not.
I love the. You know, at this point we've still got Rhaenys and like her constant backing her up all the time of like shutting them all down when they get like every time they start, she's just kind of like, watch yourself.
Know like, your place.
You might want to be careful.
Yeah.
Rhaenyra does need some control though. Like some people telling her what not to do. They are treating her like a woman that should be just silent, to be fair.
Yeah.
But if they just let her have free reign, she would just be a slightly less bad Daemon. Like, she wants to be Daemon. She's idolized him as a child.
That's true.
And she would just do stupid stuff.
She would. I agree to a certain. I do. It boils me blood the amount of control that they want to put upon her. And you're right. Some decisions that, if she was left to her own devices, may not be in the best interest of everyone else, but just for her, she would very much sacrifice herself for nothing.
Yeah.
Without giving it a second thought, but not in a good way.
At least she's not bloodthirsty. Like, she's decided not to go and just attack King's Landing. But I think that's not in fear of hurting other people. I think that's in fear of, like, she wouldn't win at this point.
Yeah, she knows her numbers are down. Nothing is going Team Black's way at all at this point. And she is really trying to stop war from happening, whether that be for good or for bad reasons. She doesn't want it. So her going now to see Alicent is to try and reason with her to say, she knows Alicent has a lot of control. At this point, kind of little bit, it's starting to dwindle. It's not as strong as what it was when Otto was about. And this is the moment Alicent realizes she got it wrong. That moment when, because it almost looked like Rhaenyra believed her, because she was so adamant. Your father said Aegon at the end, like he was the heir. And when it come out, when she starts to get upset because it's like, oh shit, everything that I thought, like he didn't want me. He changed his mind at the last minute. Like it really cut her deep. And then when she realized that it was a story that Alicent was saying that Rhaenyra had heard 1,000 times before, and explains it to Alicent, that moment, that realization of it's in
Alicent's face. And she's like, why do Targaryens name the kids the same thing?
Son of a bitch. But she doesn't back down. She doubles down. She still doubles down on, even though you see the realization, the penny finally drops, she still doubles down on, no, this is what he said and this is what we're sticking with.
That penny drops like a freaking boulder. When you see the look on her face, it's just like, what?
Huh?
What? Like, oh no, oh no.
Yeah. They were talking about the Conqueror's dream, not your stupid ass son. Just because you named him after him doesn't mean that he holds the same characteristics as him.
Oh, I loved it. The music they used though for the end of the episode is absolutely beautiful. I know they've been reusing a lot of music in this, which has kind of annoyed me, considering the guy who does music is so good. But the little piece of music they use for where it pans out from the set is just, it's beautiful.
There was only I didn't focus too much on the music. I was so much going on. So when I was rethinking of things today, I was like, there was one bit of music that really stood out to us, and it's later on when we see the Lannister host pull up and the Rains of Castamere can be heard played in the background, and I'm like, oh yeah, let's go. Oh, they've gone. We're not seeing them ever again, are we really? No, that's not happening. That ends that episode, and we go into the Red Dragon and the Gold.
Just that last bit as well, though. I think we do see that they do still love each other, like,
of course they do.
Even through all of this, but it's just like they're still the only logical people stuck up in this war of men.
Yeah,
where they're trying to be like, we just need to try and get along, and they're clinging on to that childhood friendship.
It meant a lot.
But they should have just like took each other out there. Like, she could have killed Alicent, and Alicent could have screamed for the guards as soon as Rhaenyra took off. But there's still that hope there that perhaps something could be worked out.
It's that moment when Otto hands Rhaenyra the picture from back when they were children or younger, and it's always, I think it always stays with Rhaenyra that somewhere deep down, Alicent has been conditioned from a child to be in a position to be Otto's pawn in his plans is to have Alicent move into the position of where she ends up. And she is very conditioned in that way, whereas Rhaenyra is being, up until the point where they started to take the air thing seriously, she was free reign. She was even, I mean, she had to hide a lot of things, but she was too free for Alicent. There was a point I was going to make with it, but I'm forgetting now. Just it went. I floated away.
We've also seen at this point as well, we've not mentioned them yet, Adam and Alan.
Oh shit, yeah. That's right. Call it. Well, do you know this at this point that they are Corlys's bastard children?
Not until episode 4, but they are introduced.
Where are we up to?
We're just getting to the end of episode 3.
All right, yeah.
They have been introduced because we see them quite early on. And it is just more, the only mention that's kind of been made is that we're getting right way around. Alan, the older, was the one to save Corlys back in season 1. Yeah. He was the guy who pulled him out of the water and got him basically to land so he could obviously recoup, essentially. But no, we've not heard it yet. That point, that comes in episode 4.
Oh, all I wanted to scream throughout. Actually, it comes up in this episode. The next one, the Red Dragon and the Gold, is all I wanted to scream throughout these episodes whenever Corlys came on was, Corlys is a bastard man. Harken back to me always sunny references. So Red Dragon and the Gold is probably one of the most epic episodes. This is an episode 9 worthy episode. Do we agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Physically brokers. We start off with Daemon seeing a young Rhaenyra again. Accusing him of treason.
That's where he beheads her.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because he gets the Iron Throne and it's obscured as to who's on the throne. And then it's weird because it's young. It's Millie Alcock again, but she's dressed as older Rhaenyra. She's wearing the crown and everything. She's speaking in High Valyrian to him that he's always been after that throne.
Yeah.
And, she was always in his way. That's when he lops her head off and the head's still talking on the floor.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yes, that's right. There's so much that happens in this episode. I'm like trying to scan my eyes over everything because this is where we see Alicent drinking the moon tea.
Oh.
Yes.
Do you know how many people have drank that moon tea who've been with Crispy Cole? No fucker wants his kids.
I forgot so much happened in this episode. Literally, my notes were just Cole has a haircut and the stuff that happens at the end.
Cole's haircut.
Cole's haircut, whether that was should have been hung in the streets to cut his hair.
What a terrible haircut. I can't believe we're going to get into this haircut right now, but seriously, he was like, I understand why Alice and Rhaenyra were like, oh yeah, I want some crispy Cole. But now that he's had his haircut, what the fuck?
He looks like a child.
Yeah.
It looks like man-child crispy Cole. That's what he's going to be called from now on.
Like a bowl cut, pretty much.
Yeah. It looks like I do cut hair.
That's his new contraception, not moon tea. His haircut.
It's when she drank that moon tea, I was like, nobody wants this man's child because every person who's been with him has drank moon tea.
Yeah.
So yeah, she drinks the moon tea. She also asks about the Viserys's who named, how Viserys named his heir, and he kind of like it's Archmaester Orwell, who we see quite a bit throughout this series. And he kind of like plays quite ignorant to it because he's not there for the gossip. He's there just to do his job. That's how I felt about him anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
uh-huh.
Yeah, I think there's that hope from it that he heard something. It's just kind of like, I didn't hear shit. I don't know. But there's your tea. Like,
oh gosh.
enjoy.
Is this what? Sorry, I'm just reading about Daemon. Alice Rivers. This is where Alice Rivers starts to tell him about the hauntingness of Harrenhal, when in actual fact it's her who's doing all the haunting. And he starts hallucinating where he sees Lyanna. Lyanna is
Lena, yeah.
Lena.
I was really happy to see that actress back on screen. Especially it was one scene, but it was still nice to see her back on screen again.
Beautiful.
She's so underused.
So yes, but her death scene is one of the most iconic looking moments of a Dracarys ever said. And it's Vhagar's look of, really?
Who is Vhagar?
He looks so confused.
Subtitles on, and it says like in the subtitles, like in closed captions, kind of like whimpers, sad roars. You're just like, oh no.
She just looks like, what the fuck's going on, ma'am? Like, no, why? And then the last scream kind of confirms Vhagar has to do it. Oh, it's horrible. It's not. I understand it though, because Baela really embodies that later on. Especially with what happens in this episode. She kind of like, and this is what really knocks is that we're not seeing in Baela. She's starting to become that fierce. She's starting to become as fierce as her mother, the dragon rider, the fighter, and then she is not being fucking used at all. What she says to her grandfather is some of the best dialogue I heard come out of anyone's mouth, and they still could not utilize her going forward. She's just a background character. Fuck no. I've lost my place because I got really angry there. Where am I? Where are we? Oh, there we are. So yeah, Rhaenyra returns to Dragonstone and starts to agree that war. There's no reasoning. She's not even the fact that she knows it's to be true. There's no reasoning. We're gonna have to go to war. And this is where
I do like that line from her where because they all kick off about that she left. And she's like, no, but I needed to know before I made the move. I need to know there was no other option. Like it had to go this way.
I kind of understand that because, like, for her, it'll be like, if everything goes tits up, at least I know in my heart I tried. She can't say that, and then I can hold it against her later on. And this is where Rhaenys offers up her dragon, Meleys, and herself. Because Rhaenyra's like, no, I've got to go. And everyone's like, no, you are the cause. Like, if you go, then there's nothing. And I totally understand their logic. And Rhaenys is battle trained. Her and her dragon have seen many oh gosh, I started reading about her and Melissa's relationship after this episode. Oh, she fought for that dragon.
It was Daemon's mum's dragon. It should have been Daemon's, and she took it.
She had such a bond and connection with, and how they knew each other as well was just beautiful throughout this whole episode. And going out the way she did, I think is so justified for her character. I don't know if anyone else doesn't agree, but I just think there was such a justified ending.
No, it really is.
I know it was different.
She goes out as a dragon rider.
Mm-hmm.
But I understood why they made just a slight change in how she goes.
I feel like I did read it, now I'm forgetting it, and I'm quite glad. I'm trying to get rid of the knowledge. I'm trying to look at this as just because I do want to read the books, and I'm trying to look at this show just as this show, but then I find myself later on going, well, I wonder what happened here. Let me just go and get on Wikipedia.
It's great visually, the option they took, because I don't think it'd have had the same effect as much as I do like the other version. It's the look between her and Melis, where it just looks back at her just kind of like, I'm sorry. Like, I tried. But I've got nothing left in us.
So the battle that we're referring to, which one is it? This is not Rook's Rest, is it? It is. It is.
Battle of Rook's Rest.
It's Battle of Rook's Rest. So this is what Aemond and Crispy Cole Crispy Cole, man-child Crispy Cole have been talking about and been planning for, and they've kind of got a gameplay. Vhagar is their main weapon.
Yeah.
The numbers don't need to even be as big as long as Vhagar's. I love the fact that Vhagar was just asleep in the grass, just like snoozing away. And it's like, no, not yet. No, go back to sleep for a bit.
I love that that's the plan, where they'll have been sitting around the table planning this, and they went, oh, what if we like do a stealth thing with this 200-foot dragon? Good plan.
I know, like, that's all the jokes, but I still love the imagery of it because of the way Vhagar looks. Like, all the vines and everything, and like, the way, and then when it seems beautiful where like it just slowly lifts up like out of like kind of the moss and the grass and everything. It's gorgeous.
The conversation between Alicent and Aemond, where she pretty much knocks him into place, is right before this. This is because Aemond in his head thinks not Aemond. Yeah, no. Aegon. Aegon and Aegon. I did it again, didn't I? Aegon and Alicent have a conversation because he really thinks he should be going out, and she's like, no, this is where it's the whole you are a puppet and you need to act your place. Smile, nod, that is it. And this infuriates Aegon to where we get one of the most loveliest scenes from Aegon and his dragon Sunfire. That is a Labrador. That is a golden retriever, just happy to see its owner. That the head bump that they give each other, it's just. I really wish we get to see it. I really wish we got to see that side of Aegon.
Yeah.
Because it does come across like he's so confusing to me as a character, because there's some moments where I think, oh, you're an absolute dick. And then at the same time, I feel sorry for him because he is just another chess piece. Like, he means nothing to these people. Nobody's really giving a shit about him. And I know they make that point in the first series. And then at the same time, he makes stupid mistakes. And then this happens to him. And I'm like, how do I feel about this person overall? And I still haven't got the answer for it. I still couldn't figure it out.
He is a complicated character. I think I love it because it makes him so much more interesting. Like, he could have been a Joffrey where you just hate him when he's on screen, but he's quite interesting for different moves and turns he takes.
The actor who plays him is just phenomenal as well. I absolutely love him. So they've got all this big grand plan going on, and as it's all about to kick off, Rhaenys and Melis come booling on in. Oh, but so does Aegon and Sunfire. Oh, that suit he put on. Oh, that armor.
The Conqueror's armor.
It looked like a 3D printout. It looked terrible. Oh, come on.
I still liked it.
Oh, it looked like they were putting Lego on him.
I think in the comparison to like Daemon's armor, that just looks just stunning. Like, anytime there's a scene of Daemon in his armor, it's amazing.
Oh, those. Sorry, I don't know if it might have been the previous episode where one of my favorite shots in this whole season was Daemon in his armor on Caraxes coming out of that cave. Was it at Harrenhal? Can you remember which one it is?
It's when he's setting off to Harrenhal. It's when he leaves Dragonstone.
That scene is so cool. It's only like 5 seconds or something, but that might be my favourite shot in this whole season.
Caraxes really gives me the ick. As a dragon, the long neck, it unsettles me a little bit. But saying that, Vhagar's face really it unsettles us too, and how big it's the jowl. There's a really big jowl. I mean, I would love to give him a big smushy cuddle, but the jowl, yeah. Some of the designs of the dragons in this series have been unreal. They're really, you can tell where the money has gone, and I'm kind of glad in a way that they didn't do what they did with the dragons in Game of Thrones.
3 dragons and just changed the skin color
Constantly.
Yeah. I love it because they're all so unique. When you see each different one, they are all so distinctive in every different way of how they've chosen designs for each person's dragon. Sea Smoke is probably the only one that weirdly still looks like Drogon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's Sea Smoke has to be an ancestor of Drogon. They look identical.
I think it does work down the line somehow. There's a certain dragon, and we haven't seen it, and I'm really curious when it shows a certain one. Hoping we see it in season 3.
I mentioned it. Sense. I mentioned it in the last time we got together, and now I can't remember it. Brilliant brain, Sam.
It's Dreamfire. It's Helena's dragon is responsible for Daenerys's dragons. As far as the book
we've not
logic
seen Dreamfire.
Law goes, but we've never seen Dreamfire yet. I thought maybe we would have seen her, but no.
I hope we don't. I hope we don't, because it means that Helena would have to use her, and Helena's no dragon rider. Oh, she's no fighter. That's for sure. Anyways, we're on to Rhaenys and Meleys. Yeah. And the shit storm that Aegon brings when he rocks up with Sunfire, and the 3 dragons, because Vhagar has now joined the fight. Vhagar, Meleys, and Sunfire are all added to where Aemond does what he does to his brother. And it's the look on Aegon's face where he's like, shit, my brother, fuck yeah, you're whoa, what are you doing? Whoa. Why are you aiming that dragon at me? And then, poof, does he go up and then down. And I know because I know his story. I knew he wasn't dead, but Sunfire got a huge question mark next to him. I know he has asked, and someone has said she is, but we've not seen her. We don't know this yet. So we don't know Sunfire's fate, but we do know the fate of Rhaenys and Meleys. It was that moment when she went round the castle, when she went round, and I was like, yep, he's behind it. He's behind it. He's getting his yum-yums on, and oh, did he just...
I appreciated the actual dragon battles, because
there were some fights.
It was so interesting, the logic they were using of, like, it wasn't just, oh, we're going to fire flames left, right, and center. It's like the utilizing of Vhagar grabbing Meleys like by the leg, like claw on, of just kind of like, right, I've got you. You can't go anywhere now. They made it really interesting of kind of like, what would an actual dragon battle look like?
Right. What gets me is, I know Vhagar's got some size to her, but for movement, like, Meleys was running rings around her. Mm-hmm. And I was like, the only way that they got to be in close contact in order for her to do any damage now, because she's so quick and sparse, that I generally, at one point, I was like, Rhaenys is going to be fine. And then when it started to show you shots of her going round things, I was like, no, she's not. Because that dragon is somewhere behind there, and snaps. Attacks Meleys, and the fate of Rhaenys and Meleys is just fall to the ground in epic fashion. how she went down that. She literally could have just given the middle finger as she was going down, and I would have been so satisfied, because that was a true Targaryen death, a dragon rider's death. And it's so sad to see Rhaenys go. She was such the voice of reason. They had such a moment in this episode between her and Corlys before she went off, where she is face to face with Alan of Hull, and Rhaenys knows. She knows that that's Corlys's bastard son, and she does such a 180 from what Catelyn Stark did to Jon Snow, where she's like, that boy has done nothing wrong. He did not ask to be here, and he did not ask for you to be his father. You owe him more than what you owe anyone right now.
Yeah.
And it was such a contrast between Catelyn and her, because Catelyn's like, fuck no, Jon Snow, fuck off. Like, she was horrible to him. And for no fault of his own. He didn't ask for any of it, just like Alan hasn't asked for any of this. And Corlys, he's such a stickler that he just can't get that actual stick out of his arse to make any gesture to these boys. Rhaenys is like, even when Rhaenys is gone, he still can't bring himself to say the words. It takes Alan to explode Adam later on for him to finally like say, I am, like, I know they all know it's like that whole forbidden thing that they don't talk about.
There is, I can't remember which episode, there's a great scene where he's sat with Adam and he's shaving his head, and you see that
silver.
he does grow white hair, and he purposely shaves it off so he doesn't have any connection to Corlys whatsoever.
Yeah.
That he won't even let it grow.
Yeah. It's he's an interesting character. His brother, I thought, was just gonna be a no one. Like, I didn't think he was going to be anything or something, and then he's turning out to be someone who I'm really looking forward to seeing more of. The next episode is Regent.
For one last thing in that episode.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like, you might start to hate us with this next statement,
Absolutely,
but I started to feel a bit for Crispy Cole.
Yeah, things were not going.
There's like a turnaround point from there. I can't remember if it's this one where he's talking about honor with one of the Lannisters. But even if it's not this episode,
I know the conversation you make, and this is a proper turning point for Crispy Cole.
Running for the king when the king falls, and like, I think his honor starts to come back a bit. And he's starting to seem like a bit less of a dick.
There's this weird thing, and I know they don't make a huge point of it in the show, but technically Crispy Cole has kind of raised those boys.
Yeah.
He is the pseudo stepdaddy. Obviously, Viserys wasn't there. He was the one training them when they were younger, counseling them in their older. Obviously, we saw it with Aemon this season, of that he still is kind of, he will sit and chat with them and listen to him. But Aegon is the same.
Yeah.
So seeing him fall and stuff is essentially he's looking at, like, not his officially child? His kid, but pretty much his child has just hit the deck. Like,
I agree with you, Lee. There is a lot that I don't like about Crispy Cole. The beginning part of this series, just it cemented what I didn't like about him. But and I'm kind of glad they have done a turning point on him. I'm probably more glad for the actor more than anything else.
He's had some shit, hasn't he?
What people have to understand, if you are disliking a character, it's because that person is doing their fucking job. It was the same. It was the same with the kid who's played Joffrey. You hate him so much because he is such a good fucking actor.
I think I said on the Game of Thrones one, Joffrey outacted most of these veteran actors in Game of Thrones.
When you can run rings around Charles Dance, that's got to say something about how your ability is of an actor. We hate Crispy Cole because of what he brings to that character and how fucking brilliant he brought it. He is a very complex person who has been he's torn between two worlds. Oh, massively.
Because he's just been used as like a sex object or like dirty deed, like, oh, this needs done, like sort something out. And he's not been able to keep hold of his honor, which was all he was bothered about when he joined the Kingsguard.
He's been torn between two worlds. He's torn between the world of where he thinks he needs to, where he wants to be. He wants to be the honorable Kingsguard that he believes that he is, but he's also torn between his lust and his ambition and his, a lot of other things. I feel like in this moment when he runs to Aegon, everything, all the bullshit, everything that has gone before, it doesn't matter anymore. This is all that matters. And he has such a turning point from this moment where he's almost fucking broken. You don't see the same Crispin. I'm going to call him his real name now. He's Crispin Cole. You don't see him in the way that you have done going forward after here. This gets him. This affects him, and it kind of like it's probably the shock that he needed. It's real. What's happening? All this talk of this war, it's really happening, and this is the outcome of it.
One other thing about Crispin Cole, I can't remember if it was in our chat that we've been having during each episode about this. Did somebody say the hope Daeron shows up with black hair? I don't know if that was in our chat. That was you. That would be amazing. It turns out that he's actually Crispin Cole's son.
There was something I'd read because it was over people getting pretty upset over this season, and I think, don't quote me, I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure Sarah Hesse was the one that's like kind of handling this season. It said she had written she's got something in mind for Crispy Cole that will completely flip the opinion of Kristen Cole that she's personally put in.
Right.
And honestly, when you look at it and you realize like Daeron doesn't make a lot of sense because he was never mentioned by Viserys. Alicent was never shown to be pregnant. Shipped off to Walled Town,
where he is a sweet. He does. So Gwen. There's a character we've not mentioned, Gwen, where Alicent asks him, "Is he a sweet boy or not?" And he's like, "Yeah, he's fine. He's okay. He's a good kid." Gwen I fucking loved him. He is like he is. I can't even say he's like Otto Hightower because he's better. I just generally really had a lot of time for Gwen. I wanted more of him on my screen.
He's great. I think it's a great introduction. Obviously, no pun intended. He's very green when he comes in. As to he's only ever really been a Tony Knight, and then he's in the mix. But there is something weird and underlying because obviously he gets put with Crispy Cole to go out there, and it does seem like he knows.
Oh, he
the
knows.
Moment he saw him.
Oh, he knows.
I could be wrong.
But I kind of got the
blonde and.
Well, I'm sure we're going to find out because he's been mentioned so much now that they can't not bring him in.
We'll definitely get him in season 3.
Yeah.
I do hope. I'd love a little twist like that. I know it's not canon, but I'm like, it's an interesting twist.
I like it. I was like, oh, that was pretty nifty.
Last thing for this episode as well. Do you think Aemond was going to finish the job off?
Yes.
He must have been.
100%. Yes.
He had his sword out, but it was like there could have been other people from the other side there.
I don't think he thinks like that. I don't think Aemond is like as battle worthy as what he think he is. If you take away his dragon, and what is he? He's fuck all.
Bloody good swordsman.
Is he?
Yeah, I think he didn't he beat Crispin Cole in the first season.
Did he? I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm sure they're training and he like disarmed Crispin and.
He does. Yes, he does. Because it's when they return back.
Ah.
Yes, sorry, I forgot about that. He does. Yeah. It's the first time you see grown up Aemond because it just like it's that turnaround and it's like there he is with his cap.
Yes, that's right.
We've also missed the brothel scene as well.
Oh God, there was a reason for that.
But right, I read something today that the actor who plays Aemond, he didn't tell his mum about that, and they sat and watched it together. And apparently she absolutely screamed the house down, and the neighbours were like able to hear and everything when that scene came on.
I don't believe.
My genitals are going to be on the telly in a second.
I know. I was like, I think I messaged you going, "Way one for the ladies here, mate."
I mean, I'll be honest, it wasn't what I was expecting when he stood up. It was just kind of like.
Do you know what distracted me more than anything? It wasn't seeing penises on the telly. It's his fucking hip bones. He looked skeletal. The fact his hip bones were sticking out as far as they were, I was like, one, jealous. Two, no, please put them away.
I mean, it's been one thing. I know there's a lot of jokes like at the actor when his nude scenes were being
sent
shown
most of them.
I know I did, and I'm gonna absolutely kind of contradict myself here. I can't resist a good meme. A good meme's a good meme. But it really started to get quite like the guy, like that's his body shape.
Yeah, I know.
He's obviously naturally a really slender. You know, he's extremely tall as well.
Have you ever read about him, about his life?
No, because it might be. I don't want anything to break my heart because I don't like Aemond, but I kind of love him.
He is such a sweetheart. He it was something along the lines of how he got into acting. He comes from working class family. No, working class. We're working class, aren't we? Yeah, working class family. Not you know, didn't. His family didn't. It's not like his family had money to send him off to drama school or anything like that. And he used to just hang around drama schools. Just there's a lovely. I'm going to butcher the story, so I'm going to end it before I do because it is such a lovely story of how he got into acting and how committed he is to his profession. He's in every interview I've seen him in. He has such a sweet face. Such a sweet face, like, and he looks so sweet natured in the way he talks.
He looks so kind.
He does. You just want to give him a big cuddle. I hope to God that he didn't take too much out of that scene, particularly, because when he is fully clothed and rocking that eye patch and rocking that magnificent hair, he looks fucking fierce. Mwah. Absolutely. The next episode is Regent, and we get to see a lot. We don't actually get to see a lot of mourning when it comes to Rhaenys. It's almost like, let's just downplay this all. She didn't even get a funeral. She didn't even get a funeral.
So this is the point from episode 5 onwards, except for one other episode, it really started to lose me. I was starting to get actively annoyed each episode because it is gutting. It's like everyone just kind of forgets that she died, and it's like she's absolutely major.
She was huge. She was everything. She was the queen that never was. Dickheads. It was almost like the start of the writing page off really strong, you know, and then you get really tired towards the end, and it starts to go in like, you know, that triangle shape. And it's really how this series starts. This is where we're starting to filter down. We do get to meet, and I don't know if we meet him before this or this is kind of like a big point where Hugh Hammer comes into it.
Yeah, he's in episode 1.
So we see him straight off the bat. It's kind of like this huge, big white Viking with very dirty white hair. Because it's not. I feel like this is how they're trying to disguise the fact of who these people are. Is let's just muddy their white hair. Lee, that noise was horrible.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and he looks magnificent, mind, stature-wise. Like, put braids in that hair and he will look fucking amazing. But we do meet Hugh Hammer. I want to keep calling him Huge Hammer.
Maybe it is. Who knows?
Maybe. Who knows?
Season 3, we might see.
Anything's possible after this series. But yeah, Hugh Hammer and his family, wife, and a very sick daughter. Throughout the whole time you see Hugh on screen, his daughter just keeps getting sicker and sicker to where I think not this episode, but maybe the next one, she does perish. And it's just him and his wife. The Aegon is brought back to King's Landing, still alive, with a melted in the book they do describe that he's actual armor, they couldn't get it off him so it actually stayed on. He was like, he had like, yeah, his armor. They are in the show, they take it off him, but in the book they couldn't. It was infused into his skin, so he had to keep the armor on there. Did anyone notice?
Did they have him under the blanket on the cart or something, bringing him in?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like the worst ambulance service you've ever seen, because they took the slowest walk ever to take
Fucking
you up to that room.
They had Vhagar. They had a dragon. They could have quite easily like hook something onto Vhagar's tail and be like, "Go on, get off." My notes actually, I've taken this from Wikipedia, and it says Sunfire is near dead, though it doesn't say Sunfire is dead. There's no confirmation, like clarity that we've seen that Sunfire is dead.
So you're gonna hate me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go in for closure. I do apologize, but for context, yeah, it's the same. What it is that the Sunfire couldn't move. It's so badly damaged, and essentially it stayed in the crater it landed in, and it fed on the bodies of the dead soldiers.
Tasty.
And it remains there up until quite later on. But in the show, it's been left open because they have mentioned that it's died. So I'm not sure.
It's only the only person who mentions death is Laris, and that's nobody else is mentioned. At least I'm not heard.
Always with Laris, you've got to always be curious whether he says things to make other people think it.
Exactly. Well, he needs.
Sunfire can't be dead.
No.
It doesn't. Joffrey says that.
Yes.
The brothers, a brother's dragon.
Yeah.
So that's got to be Aegon's dragon, hasn't it?
Spoilers. You know what? I was watching Kelly's live the other night, and the amount of people, because she's trying her best just to talk about the series as it is. Let's not talk about going forward, just as we are. Let's not spoil it for book readers. And someone just kept putting repeatedly, but Joffrey says it in Game of Thrones, but Joffrey says it, and fair enough. I actually fucking forgot about it until later on.
I didn't finish my sentence. I just said our brother's dragon. I didn't say what happened.
It's okay.
No, I'm trying. A lot, like people kicking off and saying like, but it was mentioned before, and it's like we know it was, but
yeah,
that's only if you go do a rewatch again. You're going to go, oh.
The thing is though, in this, I don't know if this is. I'm happy that I know, because I don't get to. Then I'm not too shocked. When it comes, I hate that feeling, like with Rhaenys. I hated that. Like, I was all over. I was climbing the couch. I was screaming. And came running in. I was like, what's going on? He was like, it's fucking kicking off. It's kicking off. So I'm happy that I know. So I don't feel that burden later on. Daemon's dreams get a bit more intense.
Jessica's been looking forward to talking about this, I think.
Yeah? Do you want to say it?
I mean, I'm not mad. You know.
What, the Daemon fucked his mother?
Ah, right. So this is how I get around this. He doesn't know until the very last moment that that's his mum. He doesn't know. It's just a woman.
Still a motherfucker.
He recoils the moment she refers to him as son, and then it's just kind of like, oh God, no.
This is going to be so hard to finish now.
Well done. Thank you, well done.
But no, Daemon would have been too young to really remember their mother.
How are you trying to justify this after what he's just said? My goodness. She said, but she does say, "You are my favorite son." That would have freaked me out the most.
My other sons don't do this.
Oh, hey.
I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, moving swiftly on to Alicent and her bid to become regent while Aegon is in bed, nursing off a huge 3rd degree, 4th degree, 7th degree burns from Vhagar. I don't even know what degree that is. Did anyone notice the eye though? The eye that was burnt out was the same as his dad's.
Oh yes, the comparison shots.
Yeah. It was quite eerie. And the board are like, fuck no. We're going with a man. We're gonna go with the next best choice. Aemon Targaryen. Why not? Why not?
Best choice.
The thing is, though, if they didn't, you'd be like, I'm just gonna go and get Vhagar, and we'll make this decision right now. Like, say hello to my dragon.
This whole thing is just a Targaryen situation where it's like throughout the history, I'm sure they did fight each other for dominance a lot. Like, even Daenerys and shithead, I can't remember what he's called.
Viserys. No. Viserys?
It is Viserys.
Yeah. Crown for a King. It's Viserys. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I actually I've read a few pages. I've read more than a few pages. There were a few chapters of Fire and Blood before I kind of like, I was getting so bombarded with so many stories. And it is a case of there was a brother. There was two brothers who were literally in every Targaryen family will hate each other. You'll have one good, one bad. The Conqueror was no different with his. Yeah, well, that's what they say, isn't it? When a Targaryen's born, the gods flip a coin.
Yeah.
Because you don't know which one you're going to get. Is it the good one or the bad one? Viserys would be classed as the good one. Daemon would be classed as the bad one. And it's not. It is literally, it goes through in history, right the way up to Daenerys. Yeah, so Aemon takes control of everything. And do you know what? I'm gonna give him his props, mind, because he does go straight into it. There's no hesitation. I'm not gonna sit on my hands. I'm gonna let's map out war here. No?
I do love see when he calls that they need to change the hand. And obviously Laura's just like, oh, and it was like, thank you. Not you toad. Go get Otto.
Oh, it's the way he does it, though. He busts out laughing and he's going, not you fucking toad. Get me Otto Hightower. And I'm like, yes. There's a reason he has been Hand of the King for as long as he has, because he does his fucking job, regardless if you like it or not. He does do his job. Where are we? Aemond's...
Again, though, with Larys, I do actually, like I said before, I do think Larys is a good person for like whispers and stuff, because he just gets disregarded like this all the time.
Well, yeah, because they just overlook him.
Yeah, he's an easy person to just stand in the corner of a room while the conversation's going on, and people are like, "Oh, it's just that weird foot guy."
It was the moment of when Aemon turned around and went and cut them fucking rat catchers down.
Yeah.
I must admit I was a little bit excited when Aemon took control, because I was like, things are gonna. This is a king who doesn't need to be counseled by his mother. Maybe we might see a difference than what we have done before, because my history with kings on King's Landing is Robert Baratheon. Fuck me, did he need help? Joffrey Baratheon, who was guided by his mother, grandfather, and every fucker else who tried their best, his uncle. So it was nice to have someone who was Uncle Dad. It was nice to have someone. How is it that with the Targaryens, we're all like, oh, it's fine. They marry brother to sister. Who gives a shit? And the minute Jaime and Cersei do it, terror. Like, I love Cersei towards the end where she's like, the Targaryens can do it, I'm fucking doing it. Where are we? Hugh. Okay, so the city now, I don't know if this happens before or after Aemon takes over, but the city is starting to feel unrest. The people of King's Landing are feeling the effects of war.
Is the blockade up at this point?
Yes, the blockade has pretty much been since the start of the series.
That's right. And because it takes a lot to get in and out. But what they do at the beginning of this episode, they parade poor Melissa's head through the streets of King's Landing, which to people who have been under Targaryen rule will know that is a stupid fucking move to do, because it classes a bad omen, and this is where the townfolk start to get a bit rattled. And Hugh and his family are no different. They are actually looking to flee now. Things are getting serious to the point where they need to go.
I do like Hugh's statement when he stood in the crowd when the head comes past, and there's people just like, "Oh my god, it's like it's against the gods and stuff." Like, it's just meat. It's just meat that they're doing. It's just like, look how like kind of low this city has gone now.
Yeah, that's
like,
just you need to stop. Yeah. This is where Corlys and Baylor have that beautiful fucking moment. Oh my god, I nearly cried. I had to listen to her say it a few times because I had chills. It was the I am blood and fire, and I will die the way that I am meant to as a dragon rider, bitch. You go and play with the fucking sea. I love that interaction between them two.
I'm just getting in my head now that the city is starving. But what
Starting
did
to
they do
get
with
there.
the rest? What did they do with the rest of Melis? Because that's a full dragon, and if it is just meat,
we
looks
don't
like
really know what
meat's
the
back on
ethics
the
are on
menu,
eating a
boys.
dragon.
Yeah, I don't know. The Targaryens might see that as cannibalism, like because they see themselves as the blood of the dragon. So I don't know.
But also, the Greens don't know anything about
No,
Targaryen history.
Did
so...
they really feed the townsfolk Melis?
No, I'm saying
no.
like they should.
Oh,
they
okay.
Have. They should have just went. Oh, the townsfolk are starving. Here's a shit ton of meat.
Me bones went cold there for a second. I was like, oh, that's grim. Oh, that's absolutely grim. Oh gosh. Okay, so Jace. Is this the episode where Jace makes? No, have I jumped a bit too far ahead? Where Jace,
I don't know what you're gonna say.
where he starts making suggestions on what? Oh, Jace
Yeah.
actually up Jace. Right, Jace in this whole series has not had a place really. Rhaenyra's too scared to let him go. Jace just wants to do his part. We can totally understand, especially what happened with Luke, why Jace is being held back. But in this moment, Jace obtains the phrase by doing what he is meant to be doing, which is, making alliances. How fucking cool was it though, watching them eat a meal in the middle of a like plank, like I don't know, what would you call it, a gangway?
It's the twins. It's the bridge of the
That's
twins.
it, the bridge of the twins. This is why she's here, people. Keep us right.
I thought we were getting onto another bit with Jace where he just becomes a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I didn't know which point where Jace decides to become a fucking idiot. I wasn't too sure where it is. It is leading up to that though. Because Daemon, speaking of fucking idiots, Daemon declares that he is now king of Harrenhal, and he is the one who is going to take the Iron Throne. Because
and he
Daemon.
hires the Brackens to kill some Blackwoods, is it?
Or he orders the Blackwoods to ravage the Brackens. Oh, good God, try and say that 5 times fast. He orders the Blackwoods to. It sounds like a kid's book. To ravage. To get the Brackens and force their fealty. That's it. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, and this is where Alice the black. Yeah, and this is where Alice starts criticizing him over the fact that he's not doing it right. Basically, you're gonna go to the wrong person when this guy's gonna die. This one's gonna, and it's like Alice is kind of like guiding him a little. I don't know what her end game was. I do like the fact that she broke his spirit. You look like you've got a lot to say with that face. Your face throughout this whole thing is just I've never seen it more like normally when we have her on, she just sits there and waits and patiently but you have been so like animated tonight. I'm loving it. Go on. What have you got?
Alice, so like she's just interesting.
Yes.
She's just incredible. She's just that weird witch of the woods. And there's so many different like wordings of exactly what is she.
Yeah.
Because no one really knows what Alice is. They don't know how long she's resided in Harrenhal.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's up for debate. Because she just sort of appeared there and has kind of stayed looking the same over a very long period of time as well. She's never changed. I think with this, like, it's weird because she's sort of taken Daemon on like a spiritual journey for Daemon to actually understand where he lands in this story.
Yeah.
And has to take him through like all of his.
She needs to give him she needs to give him the grandeur to bring him down to reality. And I've loved watching it. You are right though, this is the episode where Jace makes a suggestion.
Yeah. What a stupid thing.
What a silly sausage. He they're starting to realize the only way to win war is through dragons, and they have no other dragon riders other than who they have. So Jace comes up with a great idea of, hey, let's go and have a look at some other people who may have some Targaryen blood, and let's find them and see if they can be dragon riders. What doesn't that fucking backfire in his face?
I mean, it is a good plan, but then the fact that after they go through with it, he starts kicking off like, well, you guys don't deserve this honor. It was your suggestion.
The thing is, though, it's the realization that when he sees who the dragon riders are, to Jace, they're not that special. Which means that to Jace, because he's only half Targaryen, he's not even a Velaryon, he's a strong. If they can do it and Jace can do it, the special, how special Jace is goes out the window. He's nobody. And he is held on to the fact that regardless of the fact that he is a strong, because he knows that he is still Targaryen. And
he's as much Targaryen as Aemond and Aegon.
We're all the same. They're only down one line.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was trying to think. I was like, oh yeah, Hightower. Never mind. Sorry.
It's wild because it's like Baelor and Rhaena are the ones that actually have the most because they are Velaryon and Targaryen.
Yeah.
I think in this it's because that whole thing when that poor guy when they're looking through and it's like, all right, so you have like there's a drop maybe in you. Do you fancy having a go? It's just like,
hey, Tony from Shameless.
Yeah.
Do you want to go? That's all I kept calling him.
Oh, right, him. I understand who Tony from Shameless is now. Right.
Yeah, the guy who gets
his little giddy face when they ask him.
Oh, it's when he thinks he's done it. That's the best part. I didn't know his actual character name, so I just know him from Tony from Shameless. We get to see at the beginning of the next episode, Small Folk, Jason Lannister, and he's leading his army to the Golden Tooth. So we're starting to see bits of the players coming into it. I'm going to be honest, I generally cannot remember this episode at all. Is this? Yeah, it is. It's Stefan Darlic.
6.
Yeah, Stefan Darlic. This is where Rhaenyra puts it in his head that he could potentially claim Sea Smoke, because Sea Smoke has been so with Sea Smoke being Laena's Laena, that's right, her ex-husband.
Yes, Laena's dragon.
There's a lot of speculation that the reason Sea Smoke has been the way that he is that Laena has actually died. Because in the show he left with his lover, but in the book he does die. And the reason in Sea Smoke's the way he's been. What? Your face.
I have a theory, but I'm going to leave it till the end because I'm going to leave it until we're theorizing what's coming in season 3.
Got ya.
But I do have something. There's something I think might happen with all of that.
Oh, okay. Well, I will go back to the fact that Tony from Shameless is stepping up against Sea Smoke, who he generally thinks he's got it. I've got this. You're mine. And Sea Smoke smokes him. Quite literally. Sets him on fire.
Is it Sea Smoke?
Yeah.
Is it the one that the Dragon Seeds are all trying to get?
It is. We'll try him with Sea Smoke.
Vermithor is later. Sea Smoke is. she's not going to put him up against Vermithor straight away. Like, let's just wait up a bit. So no, it's Seasmoke who they try with Tony from Shameless, and Damon is still having fucked up dreams. He actually starts having them about Viserys as well. And this is where I know it was lovely seeing Paddy Constantine back again. This is where the weight of the crown and it really starts to, because what you've got to remember from Damon is whenever something went wrong for Viserys, like as in the death of Emma, he fucked off. He fucked off and left him. He did not see his brother go through the hardship of being a king and also losing his wife as well, and making a tough decision. Like Viserys made such a brave and bold move by saying, "My daughter is going to be my heir." That is so fucking uncalled. Like nobody does that, and I couldn't even imagine the conversations that he went through with Otto Hightower over that decision, and how much it would have played a heavy part on him. So Damon in his nightmarish she dreams is starting to see how much it had an effect on Viserys. This is starting to show the cracks in. You couldn't fucking handle this, Damon. You don't have what it takes to be a king. My cats are going nuts at the back door, by the way. All I can hear is
all these visions are very like three-eyed raven, like kind of what Bran went through as well. So I don't know
funny. Funny you say
if
that.
she has that kind of
funny you say that
ability.
I don't know that part. I just know the last part, the last vision he sees and who he sees. So I'm not too sure about her, but maybe. I mean, she is a witch and she uses were trees, so I don't really know. Jess?
Alice doesn't have a definitive ending.
Right. Okay.
She just stops being part of the story at a certain point. I'm not going to go into it because it would be that would be spoilers for what might come later on.
Mm-hmm.
But just her story just kind of stops. And that's about as much as I can say. Like I say, without giving away, because it is going to be something that will happen in the show.
Right.
Because there's way more plot stuff with her later on.
Okay, we'll leave Alice alone then.
Sorry.
No, we'll leave. No, it's fine. We'll leave Alice alone. In this episode, not a great deal. I mean, not a great deal happens at all in leading up to the end. But we do see Corlys name Adam his first mate. Well done, Adam. Bet you're fucking thrilled. Because what we then see is his brother claims Seasmoke. Or actually, Seasmoke claims him.
I love Seasmoke in that scene as well. It's just so cute. It's like is it Doug from Up? Like the dog? It's like just chasing like, you are my master. I love you.
Yeah, it was so cute, and the fact that it was the moment that he stopped being scared because like there's terror in his face. He's got a fucking dragon in his face, and then when he stops and like realizes nothing's happening, maybe this is okay, and he leans into it. And
it's almost like the dragon smiling as well.
Yeah, it's like, hey, buddy, me and you gonna be friends. I mean, he is part Velaryon, so and his last owner was Velaryon, and he kind of has the same hair as his last owner. So maybe Seasmoke may be a bit confused, but hey, it all worked out for him in the end.
Seasmoke has a type.
Yeah, he does.
His type on that beach, and he went, "I like this one.
I like you. I'm gonna have you." Where are we? So Seasmoke's been claimed. Rhaenyra does know about it. Oh, which what are you hoeing at?
Stupid moment. Where it's like, so the White Worm, can't remember her name, and she's like talking to Rhaenyra, and it's like, yeah, I used to get abused by my dad, and Rhaenyra's response is, oh, that's so hot, and they just start getting it on. And it's like, this isn't the right moment. Like if someone says like, I used to get abused, you don't go and start making out with them.
It literally says in my notes, Masari tells Rhaenyra that her father sexually abused her, and why she is loyal, they passionately kiss. Yeah.
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 I know it was
something.
It's a choice from Emma Darcy that she felt in that moment just seemed right for the scene to go that way.
Do you know what though? In a way, it's the one person that Rhaenyra's actually getting to getting some. She is getting some loyalty out of this person. Everyone else is just being a dick to them. She doesn't know where everyone stands. People have been so not horrible, but just they are berating every move she makes, and this is the one person that's not. I kind of understand where that tension came from, because it's not brought up later on. It just happened. It was in the moment. I don't think it's going to be a big deal made out of it. And I
Just
wasn't
alright
mad
for
at it.
small little plot point, because they're getting close, obviously the kiss, and it's Jace walks in and spots them. And then they're separate from each other. And then when we get into the other dragon seeds coming in, he does ask her, he's like, was that her? Did she convince you to go looking for them?
Oh,
Is she
yeah.
twisting this now?
No, Jace, it was your idea. Your mother just went with it, you dick.
Yeah.
You know, she cannot do right for doing wrong. She does hear that Sea Smoke has a new rider, and this is where she's like, fuck it. I am getting on my dragon. And thank fuck, Rhaenyra starts actually doing her thing, gets on her dragon, and we open the next episode, the Red Sowing, where she confronts Adam of Hull. And I love the line that you have got a dragon of House Targaryen. What do you want? And he is just so fucking grateful. Like, he is so grateful this dragon chose him. And he now realizes he has a higher power because of this. And why would he not want to run with it? And if this dragon is part of the Targaryen history, then I am with you. Like, I feel like he is someone Rhaenyra. I hate that I know his fate, but I think that Rhaenyra needs to have close by her side. This is someone who will steer her right. Don't want to use ship puns, even because he's a shipman, but still.
No, I do love this scene because, like, when they're facing off with each other, and it's like there's Cyrax and Sea Smoke, and it's like one of those things where it's like, oh, Sea Smoke, oh, look at this. Who'd have thought, me and you? But if this goes down, all bets off. If this goes down, I will have to take you out.
Yeah. She puts a lot of faith into him quite quickly. Because whenever later on when the dragon riders show up, or the dragon seeds, is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Dragon seeds, yeah, which is just a posh term for bastards when it comes to Targaryens.
I mean, it's nicer than bastards, let's be honest. But yeah, when the dragon seeds show up, it's him who she wants by her side, and not Jason. This obviously sticks a thorn into Jason's side. Big fucking child. No wonder she doesn't want you there. This is the episode. Not a great deal goes on in this episode apart from the very end.
Yeah. I can't remember if the Greens do anything.
There's a weird thing about Adam of Hull getting Sea Smoke, because Corlys says it, where he's like, I don't understand. He's like, because I know you like Velaryon, but why not Dragon Riders? So why you? Why has it gone to you?
About you?
So I think there's a curiosity, like, who is his mother?
Yeah, that was a lot of
not
chatter.
From his father's side, it's from somebody else.
Yeah, there's a lot of chatter, wasn't there? There was a lot of chatter online about his mother's lineage. The only thing that happens outside of what happens at the end is Daemon tries to alliance with the Tullys, the new Lord Paramount, who looked very similar to Ollie from
oh God, so much.
Game of Thrones. So much.
What was this episode?
This is where Daemon because Daemon's made deals, and like he had done with Blood and Cheese, where it's kind of like fucking backfired in his face, and this one he gets called on. It's almost like he's on trial, and he gets called on to where he has to put it right. If you want these men, you've got to put your wrong'uns right. And this is where he's starting to realize maybe ruling isn't my thing, and maybe I should just stay the fuck out of it, because he realizes in these moments, and especially with the dreams that he's having, he can't do this. He's not made for this. And we realize that later on at the end, who is made for this. How I saw it anyway. The big thing is this in this episode is the dragon seeds go to Dragonstone. Quite a few Targaryen bastards, gotta say, quite a lot. One of them being Hugh and the other being Ulf, along with a lot of other people, extra people who were there. And
the first guy got quite a bit of stick online until people realised that he actually looks like that.
But it's also kind of like he's the only one that would actually, if you're talking about this much incest, it's probably the only one who looks like actually how they all should be looking. Should be looking like that. They shouldn't be coming out perfect and pristine. You see in history in certain royal families of what happened when you had that much incest. It didn't look nice.
No, I saw pictures on. I've don't know how I've done it, but I've hit History Talk on TikTok, and it was literally just the incestual line of the royals, and I'm like, oh god, noses were a thing. They seem to get different, bigger in different shapes. It was so weird. It looked like when you put a prosthetic on someone and you just start with a nose first. It looked like that. So weird. So yeah, there's a lot of dragon seeds and. The dragon what are they called? The people who look after the dragons. It's kind of like a holy religious thing of these people who look after the dragons, who tame them, who keep them in the caves. They are fucking dead set against all of this. But Rhaenyra thinks it's a great idea. Vermithor, the second biggest dragon after Vhagar. Let's put Vermithor in front of everyone. And this is where it kicks off. Kicks off big style. And a lot of people are dead. And apart from two actually. Obviously the two people who we've been following throughout the whole thing, so no spoilers there. It is Hugh and Ulf. Ulf being a survivalist, I'm guessing, and just runs off. Bye-bye, I'm off ski. I'm going to try and get out of here as fast as I can. Hugh being very almost hero-esque, trying to help people, and he then sacrifices himself when he sees Vermithor is about to unleash on more people and starts screaming, I'm over. It's a very Jurassic Park moment. I'm over here. I'm over here.
Yeah.
I think that scream helped him though. Like I think Vermithor kind of was like, oh shit, this guy's actually,
level of respect. Huge level of respect.
It is. Like I had the joke about it. Like Vermithor would only take someone who is essentially as grumpy and as baldy as the dragon itself. Yeah. Whereas when he gets to Silverwing, Silverwing's just like, oh, company, friend.
Oh, it's like a waggly tail coming running over. It was.
I felt Silverwing just like Ulf stepped on the eggs, and I just feel like Silverwing was just like, blimey, look what hatched out of my egg. Like them trolls in Lord of the Rings. Look what came out of my nose.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh, for me, it was the moment where I went, oh my god, he was telling the truth. The reason Hugh's there for, sorry, we should have explained that Hugh's there because he explains his mother worked in a brothel who, now, I didn't hear him say this, that she was a Targaryen. Did he say that she was Targaryen?
I think he said that pay more to fuck someone with blonde hair or silver hair.
Yeah, because he explains to his missus that he never wanted to tell her that he was one of them. And he says, obviously, he grew up in the pleasure house with her. She got paid more than anybody else because she was a Targaryen. And that she remarked to him that he was no different, essentially, to his cousins and siblings, which would have been people like Daemon, Viserys, the rest of them, because technically, if it's all true, he has the highest claim to the throne out of everyone.
Highest. He is or potentially, not being said out loud, but it makes total sense for the character's story, Sarah Targaryen's son, who is the sister of Daemon and Viserys. Which means that when it comes to the claim, Hugh actually is higher. And this is how Hugh manages to tame the second biggest dragon, Vermithor. And Ulf, bless him, gets Silverwing. And this is where are we? Are we at the end? Are we at the end? Is that what all happens? Get claims the dragon?
It ends with them two claiming the two. Yeah, it does. I think it literally ends on the note of they have now secured those two.
It ends Ulf flying over King's Landing.
It does.
Oh, yes.
And then goes back to Dragonstone, followed by Vega.
That's what I do. That's what I do. I've just managed to claim a dragon. I've never drove one in my life. I'm going to go and fly to fucking King's Landing. Like, I know you've got some things to prove, my friend, but that was not the best plan to do.
It's like a mix between like Ulf pulling a GTA move and then also just like all the people in the pubs like, see, I told you, look at it, I told you.
But we did get that, because of that moment, we did get that beautiful shot of Rhaenyra and Cyrax, Silverwing, you know, all the dragons behind her. Oh, that looked beautiful. That just proved that, yes, finally Team Black have a win for once. My goodness, it's taken so long.
Stuff that I saw in like comments on Facebook about this whole Ulf thing. People saying, "Do you really think Ulf had control of Silverwing at that point?" Where he's like, "Oh," on top of the dragon. But people's theories are that they have a bond with the dragon, and it kind of goes off your feelings.
Yeah.
And his feelings would have been like, "Oh, if only the people of King's Landing could see us now." So Silverwing's just catching on to that.
Come on, mate. Let's do
there.
this. Let's fucking do this. Let's get on this. Get on my back and ride, my friend.
The absolute cuteness as well of like Silverwing and Thernifar, because essentially they're just an old couple.
They are.
They're an old couple. They're Jaehaerys's and his wife's dragons. So, but Silverwing stopped being ridden quite a bit before Thernifar. Right. So no, like she's never been out.
They're not being claimed. Oh, it's a bit freedom for them to stretch their wings. The last episode is called The Queen Who Never Was. Quite sad. And we kick off with Tywin Lannister arriving to get alliances with the weirdest person I have met in this show, but I want to know more about her. Laura?
Ah, so this one's dead curious because I'm not sure on this one if they should be described as a them.
Right.
I think they are a them.
Right.
The partner did say apparently the actor being used is a trans actor is used for the character. But I think there's something about it that like that is kind of how they're described anyway.
Okay. Good to know.
I think that's why there's a certain line where it's like kind of like, I want your kids. Like what? Like now? It's like, no. My wives.
That's like, right. That's right.
How many wives?
Oh well. They are a very interesting character then. I got very Viking feel. Like I was like, could you be related to Lagertha? What is going on here? I was loving
like the original Dario Naharis as well.
Oh, what's his face from Deadpool? That's the original. The original Dario Naharis is went off to do Deadpool, and then when he went back, they were like, "We don't want you back."
Yeah, that was a choice.
Oh my god, we got
to see. Oh my god, is the bad guy in Deadpool?
Yes.
It's Felix.
Fuck me.
Yeah, he went off to do Deadpool.
Sorry.
Francis. Who fucking cares? Yeah, he goes off to do Deadpool while he's contracted to Game of Thrones, and when he comes back, like, we don't fucking want you. We're gonna go with someone else. But forget fucking Francis for a second. Did nobody notice we saw actual Tyroshis? Blue beard, fucking blue hair Tyroshis, not the bullshit that you got in Game of Thrones. I was fucking buzzing. I was like, get the fuck in. I genuinely thought I saw my cat out of the corner of my eye, and I wondered how they got into my room. That just freaked us out. Yeah, so Tywin does his job, even though he got bested in mud wrestling, which really pisses. I don't do mud, and that just like I was like, oh god, the cleaning after that would be terrible. Larys convinces Aegon to they need to go. We need to go. Things are gonna go tits up. Let's just get out of here, head to Bravos. And they do. They do end up leaving. He does finally get him out. He has been pushing him a lot, which I totally understand. Like, this is where I feel like Laris has a heart, is that he needs him for his own game, but at the same time, he understands the struggle and wants, and that's how I saw it anyway, that he had some compassion for him and some like empathy. Like he knew what his life was going to be if he didn't get himself back to strength.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely got that from him. And the whole reason for pushing him is like because he had to be able to move if they needed to move. It's like they couldn't have carted him out or anything like that. Like he had to move of his own accord. But I do think ever since this moment where he got called a toad, I think he knew that even for him, he's in a danger zone.
Yeah.
That Aemon would take his head if he just looked the wrong way. And it's kind of like staying next to Aegon is the safest place he can be in right now.
Yeah.
Is keeping him as his like kind of human shield.
Let's get him out of there. Gwen challenges Kristen Cole. And this is where you do see a downtrodden Kristen Cole, who is broken man.
Yeah.
Very broken man, very different from how we've seen him. And it's kind of left at that. There's no fucking further action on that. It's like, yes, I regret everything. We move. That's it.
Well, I think we're definitely going to see a lot more redemption from Kristen Cole. And I'm not sure what will be what Jessica was talking about before, but I hope you're right with like some things coming in. Because I really want to see more of an arc from him.
Yeah. It'd be nice. Aemon starts throwing his dolls out of his pram though. Especially with the fact that there's now more dragon riders, and he lays waste to Sharp Point, which fucking starts to worry everyone. And especially the fact that he is now thinking he needs more dragon riders. I know. Let's go and speak to my bereaved sister, who doesn't dragon ride. Let's just go and get her on her dragon. And this is where Alicent finally fucking steps up as a mom. She puts herself between Aemond and Helena to stop him from because he was ready to drag her out by her hair. And she literally, for once, thank God. Alicent's character has been so all over the place. Throughout this, it's like she's gone on to the where she knows where she needs to be. She knows what she needs to do, and then to have it all taken away from her to when she doesn't know where she is, where the writers don't actually know what they're going to do with her. They just leave her in the fucking woods for a bit, but then bring her back to being a changed woman. Just changed. Everything's all, and the arc just seems all over the place for Alicent. But in that moment, I was very happy she stood up for Helena. Because this is where she's trying to get Helena out. They all know it's gone tits up.
It's about time she did something for one of our kids. Like, the worst thing was Aegon crying his eyes out alone in his bedroom because he just had his son murdered. And she walks in and sees him and goes, "Nah, not today.
Man up."
And fucking leaves him, and it's like, that's
your child. She does the whole man up thing, and it's like, he needed you in that moment. He needed his mother more than anything. You could have really stepped up there, lady, and you decided to walk away. Where we're at, yeah. So Aemon's. I want to get into Daemon's dream. I need to get into this. I am fucking bursting to talk about this. So the last thing that Alice gives him before he finally reunites with his wife is a vision through the weirwood tree. Oh, this was a moment.
This is where what we say about like, so where she's been taking him on some kind of weird spiritual journey, because she does say it's like you weren't ready until now.
Yeah.
Like now you can see.
Yeah.
Isn't his bed made of weirwood as well?
She just said that he sleeps on a bed made of it, so that's why she says that's why he's having his visions.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. First he sees a White Walker, a very weird CGI White Walker.
Wasn't good.
Oh, we see Blood Raven first.
Fuck, thank you. I thought that was afterwards. Yes. We see the three-eyed raven come into shot with Blood Raven behind him. Holy shit. The one thing that really knocked me about Max von Souden is they left the birthmark out. You got to see the birthmark on his face. Very interesting character. Hope to God they are doing something with the Blackfires. It is the Blackfires, yeah, yeah. Please say I didn't sound so stupid there that I said the wrong name.
I don't know what that is.
Is it in the Blackfire Rebellion?
Yes.
Yes.
They are doing so. Yes, and he comes from there, doesn't he?
I think.
Actually,
a bit more reading for that one. I remember some of the Blackfire stuff.
I think. But yes, then we see the White Walker. Then we see a dead dragon. We see what I thought was like, I generally did in my tiny brain thought, oh my gosh, that's Jon Snow walking across the ground. I don't know why, because you just see feet. And I was like, is that Jon Snow walking across the ground? But then we see Daenerys with her three babies, just the back of Daenerys and her three babies. And it all comes to Daemon. The prophecy's real. There is much more to being. The Targaryens have to survive. They have to live. He is not a ruler. He is not a leader. He is a fighter, and he needs to fight for the prophecy to come true. They kind of retcon the whole Azor Ahai and claiming that it is Daenerys. That's what I've read. Whether that is true, I'm not sure.
I think I took it on the thing of once he sees everything, is that essentially it shows to him it's like the story is so much bigger than him.
Yeah, that's it.
He's just a part of the story. They have to succeed for Daenerys to be a thing, and it'll come long after they're dead, and Daenerys will be what carries on, and the true Targaryen reign from like what he can see.
We missed out one big massive part that I really wanted to talk about, Helena. Where Helena comes to him in his vision.
Oh, yes.
But she's actually talking to him from her balcony. She is fucking in his dream. You can hear her finishing a sentence off as Aemond walks up behind her. Oh my good God, that give me chills, because she gives him the message that you know your place. You know what you need to do. Oh, what a fucking moment. That was probably the best thing in this whole episode. Was that right there?
It is. And to be honest, even the conversation straight after with Aemond, where she proper shits him up, where she's like, what are you going to do? Are you going to burn me? Like you did Aemond.
Yeah.
Aegon, it's like, I didn't. It's like, you did. I saw it. I saw you do it.
He goes, yeah. And she goes, what was it? He will be king again. He will sit on a wooden throne. You, on the other hand, will be dead. Eaten up by the god's eye.
Chair, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what people are assuming, that's what she meant by it, that he'd be sitting on instead. Because I think he gets a bit of a fear of I don't think he can make it up to the throne. That was it. There was another king who was scared of the throne, but he can't get up there.
Oh, you must have felt for him as well when he's like talking to Larys and he's like, when I piss, it runs down my leg. Like,
I know, it's so. He does make you feel for him.
Rhaenys, like up in heaven, just howling like a proper cackle face.
Like, what happened to him? I love it. Yeah, but Helena's like, you'll be dead because you'll be eaten up by the god's eye. And it's like, oh, bitch, get the fuck in. That was, for a series finale, that was the greatest part in it, because the next bit is just a lot of fucking people gathering. It almost looked like something out of West Side Stories, you know, when all the people are like coming together for the Rumble, and you've got all the different songs going on at the same time. And then it's just the Jets and the Sharks meeting at the end, and then the fight kicks off. But then it doesn't, because it ends. That's what it felt like. It was so... This didn't feel like a finale. It just felt like an episode. And next week we're getting the finale.
Was that a 70-minute trailer for season 3?
Yeah.
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 It's not.
I appreciate
it wasn't good.
For the split, tiny little shot we got of actually seeing Chasarian flying across.
Yeah.
And she is blue. She's blue.
Yes,
and I'm
she
so
is.
happy she's that blue. Because I was really worried they weren't going to make her as blue as she's meant to be. It's like I needed it to be.
I don't think I'd have that big of an issue with it if we weren't waiting 2 fucking years for the next one.
Got to see the Winter Wolves as well.
What?
I really appreciate it. Got to see the Winter Wolves on screen.
Yes.
Walking across the Twins Bridge, arriving in, because they just sound like the coolest group ever when we get to them. Of just these gnarly.
When we get to them.
These gnarly
when we eventually get to them.
I just remembered something else awesome. The Lannisters had an actual lion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so cool as well.
Yeah. The thing is with the Lannisters, they are such like, you can't take what Tywin is as a Lannister because they are such a powerful house. It wasn't until Tywin's father that the Lannisters started to like look like a bit of a joke. He is like the Tywin, but he was the higher. I think actually it was called Tywin. He was like he was the head of the Lannister house. And Tywin was watching his father make their family look like a joke, which is why Tywin never laughed. Is because he will not be made a joke out of. So the Lannisters are just as fucking powerful then as they are when Tywin gets his hands on them. It's his dad who brings the downfall.
Was the Lannisters... I'm sure they were in power when the Conqueror came over as well. Is that not who the royal family were?
Potentially they've always had something to do with royalty because they got the money, but I don't know how. I'm very blurred on what is going, because before the Conqueror comes over, you just have your 7 kingdoms, and every one of them has their own, the King of the North, kind of thing going on. But he demolishes that. Another thing that knocked us about this series, it kept saying 7 kingdoms. Mate, you've only got 6. You didn't get Dawn. You need to start remembering that it's not 7 kingdoms. It's only 6. That annoyed us. It only annoyed us because I knew, because I'd read it. If I hadn't read it, I wouldn't have been asked. Like,
it's sad because Ulf even says it at one point. When he's having his beers and they bring a Dornish guy and like, oh, you tell him your story of who you are. And he's like, oh, we didn't manage to get you guys, did we? Like, we didn't manage to succeed getting over to where you were. It's like, it's acknowledged that they don't have Dawn, but maybe it just doesn't sound right when it's still like, oh, it's the 6 kingdoms. It's like,
people will be like, what the fuck? Right. Well, we've been talking a very, very long time about this series. What is your overall thoughts of it in the nicest way you can possibly be, Lee?
Basically, you'll know the meme where it's like, as something goes on and it's got the picture of the horse and it's like on fire at the first bit and then an alright drawn of it in the middle and then like just a shit like 2-year-old's drawn of a horse's head at the end. That is exactly how the season has gone.
Yeah.
It started off amazing. It was like, oh my god, shit's happening, oh this is so good, people are dying. And then it's just people talking about doing stuff but not doing anything for the rest of the 5 or 6 episodes. It just gave me them feelings of Daenerys and let's just sit here and we'll just pretend to rule and not learn anything and just sit on my hands because I don't have 3 dragons that could quite easily wipe out anything in King's Landing right now, even at the size that they were. Like, it just a lot was going on, but nothing was actually happening, if that made sense. Like, nothing moved. I had such a different image of how I thought the series was going to be. I don't know. I thought there was some great writing points, but then there was also some really bad ones that kind of like brought them down.
I think for me, I got to the end and it was just like, damn it, you got me again. Like how Game of Thrones got me. Like, I'm so invested. This is going to be so.
Damn you!
I'll still be invested.
Yeah,
like I know I'm still going to be like ramping up for season 3.
Yeah, exactly. What were you going to ask there, Lee? What we're looking forward to?
What do you want out of season 3?
I want to see
without spoiling things.
Oh fuck! I don't think I can. I really don't think that I can. what I want to see, I want to, because of a character I've purposely not read about, is Helena. I know her book Fate. I'm starting to look now, especially the way Helena was at the end of this series. I'm like, maybe we're going in a different direction. Maybe there's more to this. So I'm excited to see what it is they're going to do with Helena. I couldn't give a shit if I never saw Alison Hightower ever again. I really couldn't. I'm interested to see the ramifications of everything that Crispin Cole has gone through to where we left him and how that affects him going forward. But yeah, there's without spoiling it, I can't say.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's got to be, I need to see some actual battles.
Yeah.
Because that's why I loved Game of Thrones. I loved the battle planning. I loved the getting to a major sort of on the ground, soldiers against soldiers, the different tactics that each army uses. I don't want another season of, and here's a shot afterwards.
Yeah.
And it's already been done. And it's like, no, like this, because there's going to be so many good ones going forwards because we're going to go into the actual war. I'm like, don't gloss over them. Show me these battles.
Yeah. Show me what you're really good at. And what you're really good at was battle scenes. I spoke to a certain director who did one of the greatest battle scenes in Game of Thrones. Two actually. Battle of Blackwater and the one at the Night's Watch. So we know it can be done. We know that it can be, and do I want to say don't concentrate so much on the dragons? Because then I'm like, this is what I've came for. I've come for the dragons.
Show some dragons, but
show some fighting.
Yeah. What I want to see, I'm going to go back to the beginning of this episode and say, where the fuck are the Starks?
Yeah. Where?
When the men from the north come down to the south, shit kicks off.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll only get the Winter Wolves. They're the only ones you're going to get.
I don't give a shit as long as we get some fucking Starks going. Oh, just let's get some Starks in here. Like, I can't even believe I'm saying it. I never warmed up to the Starks, even with Ned. I don't know. Catelyn Stark kind of put a bad taste in my mouth for a bit. The thing I was mentioning earlier about coming back into play was Daemon seeing the Night King. What I said at the beginning about the whole thing, mentioning about the beyond the wall, and then Daemon seeing the Night King, kind of like the threat. That's the threat, right there. This, not so much. We need to be here to eliminate that. There was a lot going on in his vision, and
there's
a lot.
There's loads of theories about people saying that Daemon's going to become a White Walker, and that White Walker in that CGI one, it's like, oh, that's Daemon. It's like, it's not.
I fucking hope
potentially
not.
He could become a White Walker. Like, you don't know what happens to him.
Nah,
but probably not.
But I don't think so. The only theory I've got is the return of Laenor, but I don't think it'll be a major return. But I think we might see him on screen at least once more.
Well, we don't know because his character fate is different to his book fate, so we generally don't know.
There is something that has been like a direct change, and it's to do with Rhaenyra's two youngest children.
Yeah.
The ones that have gone to Pentos.
Joffrey and
Viserys. No, Viserys and Aegon the Younger are on the boat.
That's right. Joffrey's gone to...
He's at the Vale.
Yeah.
Now, that's what you saw at the end. You know, when all the ships were coming in,
yeah.
they were coming to meet that boat that's got those two kids on.
Yep.
Yes, it's part of this is from the books, but Aegon the Younger's dragon it's not huge, but it's just enough for him to get on that dragon. They don't have one. We saw how little the dragon was. So someone has to be there. Someone has got to be in the mix of this part of the story for it to all work out how it needs to work. There's no altering this. And the only legitimate thing that makes sense is that Laenor is on the sea at the same time. He will still be a seafarer. And I get the feeling that's where we're going to see him. I think he is going to pop up.
Well,
and pull a one last hero moment.
Well, my sweet summer child, you're going to have to wait 2 fucking years to find out.
They need Nettles as well. Nettles
2
sounds mint.
fucking years.
There's a lot
Nettles
that needs to be in this season?
No,
that's Rhaena now. Rhaena is Nettles.
They've mixed the 2 characters together. That's what I read anyway, and I was like, I'm not reading anymore because I do eventually want to read Fire and Blood. I know I brought along my my big book. Don't know why. This is the Rise of the Dragon, which was released a few years ago. It is beautiful illustrated book on the history of the Targaryen family. It's volume 1, by the way. Christ knows when volume 2 is going to come out. Hopefully after Winds of Winter, because if I hear one more person online get bitching about the fact that that book hasn't come out, I think I might cry. But I think we should call it a day, my friends. We've been on long enough. I hope everyone's enjoyed it. I really, if you want to see any more about Game of Thrones House of the Dragon, please let us know in the comments. Or get in touch, because I've tried to do a Game of Thrones series before to keep the topic alive, and it didn't quite work out the way that I planned it. So if anyone's got any suggestions, let me know. And thanks for sticking around for nearly Christ knows how many hours we've been talking.
And if you want more, check out our previous video on Season 1 House of the Dragon.
I would like to think that you've already seen that one before you jump into this one.
Yeah.
We were a lot more positive on the first one.
Oh, were we excited? Were we excited? And then it's like, oh, it's like the contrast of like from then to now, and it's like, wah, wah. If we've got nothing else left to say, let's say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Sorry, I did a proper hide down there.
You did. Stay nerdy, everyone. Bye.
Bye.